From Spillane Field in Wareham, it's the Gatemen hosting the Brewster Whitecaps for the second time this season, only the second overall matchup between these two teams. And right now, as it stands, the Gatemen, after a two-game losing streak, including the loss last night at McKeon Park to the Hyannis Harborhawks, now sit in a virtual tie atop the Western Division with those same Harborhawks at 28 points apiece. Gatemen still with the 3-2 series edge over them and a massive lead in the run differential, plus 37 for Wareham, minus 22 for the Harborhawks, which is second worst in the league, only behind these Brewster Whitecaps, who sit in last in the Eastern Division, a 4-17-3 record with just 11 points and a negative 59 run differential, and just an all-around dismal season so far for the defending champs. Welcome into our broadcast here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Wareham just taking the field to take on the Brewster Whitecaps. I'm Cameron Stewart. Alongside me is Henrique Demore. Henrique, Gatemen trying to erase a two-game losing streak once again for the second time in a week. How are they going to do it tonight?
Well, thankfully they ran into just about probably the best team to erase that two-game losing streak with. The Brewster Whitecaps, like you said, it's been a very tough go for them, and more so because the last two games. 2 games ago, they tied the YD Red Sox, who are the best team in the East, and honestly probably making the case for the best team in the Cape. I think between them and Wareham, it's tough to juggle the two as now YD's taken the lead in points in the standings overall. But that aside, YD was trailing Brewster 6-0 halfway into that game. Brewster let up 6 unanswered runs. That game ended in a tie. That is not the way that you want to go against you feel like you finally have an upset against one of the best teams in the Cape in YD, and then you blow it. And even worse, yesterday against the Orleans Firebirds, they were up 8-1 against the Firebirds at Eldridge Park, let up 8 unanswered runs, lost 9-8 in walk-off fashion. So if nothing else, no matter how good Ben Dragani is, and he's been good, one of the few bright spots in this Brewster pitching staff with a team ERA over 5, good for dead last in the league, you can at least get to that bullpen, as evidenced by the last 2 games. No lead is safe for Brewster, so I think, honestly, the Gatemen need to go out there and play their game. They need to focus on themselves, not worry about what Ben Dragani's going to do, not even worry about what the next guy in the lineup's going to do. If everybody takes care of their job, that's the beauty of baseball, of the uniqueness of baseball as a team game. If everybody does their job, you will win.
And the Gatemen will turn to Connor Lund tonight, the right-hander from USC. Was still making that transition from reliever for the Trojans to starter here in Wareham. A 2-1 record on the year. The ERA just over 3 at 3.06. Has started twice and appeared 4 times for Wareham this year, and has struck out just 12 in his 14 2/3 innings pitched, and has walked only 5. His last time out, he actually got a loss, but pitched pretty well. 4 innings, 1 earned run on 2 hits, struck out 4 and walked only 2. The game a week ago, they lost 5-3 to the Bourne Braves. He tries to turn things around tonight, as do the Gatemen. Ray Alejo will start things off for the Brewster Whitecaps in the first inning. And the first pitch is just going to miss off the inside corner for ball 1. Alejo out of Central Florida, a 289 average on the year. A couple of doubles, a triple, and 3 RBI for the man hitting leadoff tonight. Takes this pitch up high, and things will even at a ball and a strike to the leadoff man.
Brewster also hitting a paltry .234 as a team. That certainly hasn't helped things, but like I said, it really starts and ends with the pitching for this team.
Alejo is going to bounce one up the middle. A diving stop there by Ryan Kreidler. Throw on to first is going to get a diving Alejo. What a play up the middle there by the Gatemen shortstop.
You're not kidding. What a play by Kreidler. Welcome back to the lineup. Ryan, my goodness, he ranged into his, what I thought was going to be a bona fide single. That one had center field written all over, but Kreidler made a diving stop, popped up, and credit Lyle Lockhart over there at first base. A really nice stretch for him to make that distance between the ball, the distance between where the ball was thrown from Kreidler and where he caught it from as short as possible. Very good defensive execution here early.
So Ryan Kreidler, fresh back into the lineup, as Henrique said, makes the impact defensively to start things off in front of Justin Ammons, left-handed hitting right fielder from the University of Tennessee. First pitch he sees is going to be knee-high and down the middle for a called strike 1. Elsewhere in the infield, Paven Parks gets the start at third base tonight. Zahid Valenzuela back to his normal position at second, while Lockhart at first. Next offering is going to clank away off the glove of Drew Millis, who is tonight's catcher. In the outfield, the new guy, Jacob Goldfarb, is out in left. Skylar Hunter in center, and Isaac Collins now at his usual post out in right field. He will actually be batting leadoff tonight for the Gatemen for the first time. 1-1. Ammons is going to bounce it off himself. So the count now will run in Lund's favor, a ball and 2 strikes.
That's that kind of weak contact that you like to see. Making bad pitches look good, and in essence, that's the art of pitching, and Connor Lund will try to do that with his breaking ball today. Keep it low, induce choppers and weak contacts, let his top-rated Wareham Gatemen defense do the rest.
This one is just going to miss. So the count will now go to 2-2 to Ammons. Ammons hitting at .241 on the year, just 7 hits. Only one of them for extra bases, a double, and a single RBI to his name. He's going to poke this one out towards left field. It's Goldfarb moving over to his right. Starts out, then comes in and camps under it, right where the shadows come in here down the left field line at Spillane, and he makes the catch for out number 2. It's 2 up and 2 down in the top of the first, ahead of Connor Grams, the designated hitter out of Xavier. Grams only at .244 on the year. Couple of doubles for him. 4 homers, though. Going to bounce this one up the middle. Kreidler's not going to get to this ball, and it's going to go up the middle for a base hit. First pitch Connor Graham sees, he takes into center field. It's the first base runner of the night, first hit of the game for the Whitecaps. And with 2 outs, they've got a man on, ahead of Brandon Morderano, tonight's catcher.
I remember the last time these two teams played, Grams was one of the more dangerous hitters in the lineup. He has since settled down, obviously, and no one in this Brewster team hitting above 300, you see. That's part of the reason why they have struggled so mightily to produce runs at a consistent rate. But Grams does have it in him. And Moderano, a guy that we're seeing for the first time today, as that one skips in front of Millis, able to keep in front of him, though. But there has been some roster turnover for Brewster since the last time these two teams met, as there has been for Wareham, obviously. Zahid Valenzuela was one of his first games last time these two teams met. That seems like so long ago.
He certainly made an impression in that one. 3 hits and a couple RBI in that one for the Gatemen. This one's going to bounce in front of Drew Millis, but he's able to keep it in front of him. Slightly down that first base line. 2-0 is now the count in favor of Morderano. It's been a tough transition for him. In his 6 games, he's only hitting .176. Does have a couple of doubles. Pickoff throw going back into first base is Connor Grams. He's the man on, 2 outs. The Brewster half of the first inning. .2-0 is going to be skied high to right field. It's Isaac Collins settling under it. Battling the sun, will make the catch for the out. That retires the side. Whitecaps get a hit, but nothing across. Gatemen coming up for the first time tonight here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
Gatemen Baseball is officially sponsored by Robertson's GMC, the truck professionals. Located just 2 miles away on Cranberry Highway, we are proud to sponsor the Gatemen Youth Clinic for 2018. Robertson's GMC. We are professional grade. Power like a pro.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
back here for the bottom of the first inning. Gatemen looking to get one across and draw first blood in this game, as the Whitecaps were able to come away with a single in their half of the first inning and were unable to bring him anywhere past first base. Starting tonight for the Whitecaps is Ben Dragani, the champion of the West out of the University of Michigan, standing at 6'5", another tall left-hander that the Gatemen have to deal with. Second one of those in 3 days. It's an 0-1 record on the year, but a very respectable 3 ERA. He's made 2 starts and has pitched 9 innings, struck out 7 and walked only 3. His last time out against Falmouth, he got a no decision, but pitched very well. 5 innings, 1 earned run on 3 hits, and struck out 5 Commodores in a game that the Whitecaps are actually able to come away with a win, one of their 4 on the year, a 5-4 contest back on Canada Day, the 1st of July. For the Gatemen tonight, they'll lead off with Isaac Collins in right field, followed by Sahid Valenzuela, the second baseman. Austin Shenton DHing tonight will bat third. Lyle Lockhart in his normal cleanup spot and playing first base. Paven Parks back in the field at third, bats fifth. Drew Millis behind the plate tonight will bat sixth, followed by Ryan Kreidler, who was already dazzled in the field tonight at shortstop. Jacob Goldfarb, the left fielder, will bat eighth, followed by the suddenly hot Skylar Hunter, will round out the lineup and play center field.
Yeah, you love to see this. Guys like Skylar Hunter and Oliver Dunn, who have often been relegated to the 9-hole, yes, because of their speed, but also because, honestly, the offensive production just hasn't been there for either of them. But Skylar Hunter has always had the clutch gene. We're going to see him in the later innings.
First pitch is going to be a called strike on the outside corner to Isaac Collins.
But sometimes with these guys, all you need is a chance. We saw it with Isaac Collins, who struggled his first few games, in and out of the lineup, but given a consistent spot in right field, he has produced pretty much better than anyone in this Gatemen lineup.
He's going to sky this one down the right field line. It's going to be a long run for Ammons, and it will fall foul to put Collins behind in the count 0-2. He's a guy who's really started to raise that average since he's got regular playing time out in right field. Now up to an even 300 on the year. A double, a homer, 4 RBI for him on the season. .02 is going to be blooped into center field. This one's falling fast and it will drop in for a base hit. So Isaac Collins keeps it going for him. He starts off tonight 1 for 1, and the leadoff man is on via the single in the Gatemen half of the first.
Sometimes you don't need a lot more than that. Isaac Collins continues to produce, so he is going to continue to sit in that lineup. Like you said, Jeremy Idens not to be found in the lineup today. So taking over that leadoff spot is Collins, and Idens had a fantastic stretch. There's nothing to be said poorly of Idens, but Collins has been producing at such an awesome clip, like we've said.
Seems to just be a scheduled off day for Idens today, as he has continued to stay hot, as Enrique alluded to. So it's Goldfarb out in left and Collins in right in the corner outfield. First pitch to Sahid Valenzuela, misses down low for ball 1. Next offering is going to be skied high behind home plate, and there's a play there for the catcher, who's going to drop down to a knee and make the catch. Does Morderano. Never even dropped the hockey-style mask. Keeps it on and retires Sahid Valenzuela for out number 1.
Yeah, honestly, that was impressive. Usually the first thing you see, even when a ball's a mile and a half foul, just kind of by instinct, the guys behind the plate will shed their hockey mask or any sort of mask they've got on, but a lot of confidence shown by Morderano on that catch. He retires the always dangerous Sahid Valenzuela.
Now an equally dangerous man batting from the left-hand side is Austin Shenton. The man at first, he takes this first pitch on the inside corner for a called strike 1. And it's just been steady all year for Shenton, still leading the league in batting average. It's all the way up to .408 still. He has not slouched this month, .409 in the month of July, which is second best on the team. The man who's just retired, Sahid Valenzuela, .478 this month for the Gatemen. Getting back in there is Isaac Collins on the pickoff attempt. He's there at first with 1 out. Still no score here from Spillane Field. No one count to the number 3 hitter, Austin Shenton. Shenton sounds like he busted his bat on that one and will dribble it foul down the right field line. He'll make the long walk over to the first base dugout to get a new piece of lumber. Shenton, a guy who doesn't seem to break on those situations, these tough situations. 429, he's hitting with runners on base. He's a guy who hasn't seen many good pitches to hit recently. A lot of pitchers pitching around him, as is evidenced by quite a few multi-walk games this week for the third baseman, tonight DHing for Wareham. Stands back in there, switched out the tan bat for a black one. See if it's got some two-strike magic in it. The 0-2, it does not. Cut on and missed, actually foul tip into the catcher's mitt. Austin Shenton, a little bit upset with himself, will go down via the swinging strikeout for the second out of the first inning. And Lyle Lockhart will look to salvage it, batting from the right side.
These pair of switch hitting bats are part of the reason that the 3-4 has been so dangerous for Wareham. Lyle Lockhart jumping into that 4 spot with the absence of Brian Packard. Lockhart did hit in the 5, but the power has been kind of just on and off for him over the course of the year. We've seen some flashes of greatness. We saw him go deep against YD. Saw him hit a couple balls just really, really hard. We've seen a lot of long outs, even in the Falmouth game when the Gatemen tried to rally in the 9th inning. Lockhart had one of the longer outs of that 9th inning. It was too little too late, but we know he's got it in him.
He's swinging on this one and fists it over the second baseman's head for a base hit. Collins will trot over to third. He'll get in there standing up. And with 2 outs after the Lyle Lockhart single, there's runners on the corners for Paven Parks, and the Gatemen are threatening early. For Lockhart, that's got to feel real good. He's really struggled from the right-hand side against lefties for the switch hitter. He was hitting just 100 even coming into that at-bat, but is able to single off the second pitch he sees tonight. And now another lefty-lefty matchup as Parks will come to the plate to face Dragani. And versus left-handers this year, only 4 at-bats for Paven Parks, and he is 0 for 4. Check swing on the first pitch. They're going to say he went around. Home plate umpire making the call. And rings him up to put him down 0-1. Parks was the center of the controversy in last night's game, which led the game to be played under protest from the 7th inning on. It was he who came in. He was the designated hitter to start the day and went in as a relief pitcher. And as the rules in the Cape League state, if he is a designated hitter, he can hit for himself, in that case, in the pitcher's spot. The home plate umpire making Derek West hit, and that's why the rest of the game was played under protest. And Don Snedden and the rest of the people here at the Wareham Gatemen organization feel that there is cause for a replay to play that game from the protested point on. So we could be making another trip to McKeon Park earlier than expected, Henrique.
Yeah, earlier than expected. We weren't supposed to go at all. That was supposed to be the last one.
Parks is going to bounce this one foul down the first baseline. He's now behind in the count 1-2. And even if Don Snedden is right, which from what we've seen in the Cape League rulebook he is, the league offices still have to determine that that had a major that was a major factor in the Gatemen losing the game. So it cannot be automatically replayed even though the rule was wrong. They have to rule that it had an effect on the Gatemen's 9-5 loss. It was a 1-run game at the time of the protest, so we'll just have to wait and see now. Parks has evened things up at 2-2 after that last pitch missed up high.
And I think, like you said, that's where it's going to be tough because, yes, it was a 1-run game, but the Gatemen did end up losing that by 4.
Devastating breaking ball and a cut on a miss from one knee is Paven Parks, and he is the second strikeout victim of the inning. The Gatemen get a couple hits, leave a couple on, but it's still scoreless as we head to the second here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Shop from home year-round on Gatemen.org. You can customize your Gatemen gear from any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at Gatemen.org. Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Back here for the second inning. Still scoreless from Spillane Field. 5, 6, 7 due up in the Whitecap order. Chris Wright, Brandon Wolf, and Gage Workman expected. Against Connor Lunn, who gave up a hit in the first inning. It was a 2-out single by Connor Grams, but stranded him right there at first base. Gatemen leave a couple on in their bottom half of the first, and that's why we're still scoreless. Wareham looking to end a 2-game losing streak that sees them now tied in points atop the Western Division with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. So now, a relatively local kid, Chris Wright, will step in, left-hand hitting first baseman from Cumberland, Rhode Island, and Bryant University. First offering to Wright is going to catch the outside corner for a called strike 1 from Lunn. Wright at .232 on the year. Just 1 extra base hit, a triple, and no RBI for a power position at first base. He's going to bounce this one over to short. Ryan Kreidler makes a few steps in and will throw on over to first for an easy out number 1 here in the second inning. So now with 1 out, nobody on, it'll be Brandon Wolf, who's tonight's left fielder. Step up to the plate, hitting barely over the Mendoza line, .205 for Brewster. Like the former Gateman Bryson Stott, he hails from Las Vegas, Nevada. He goes to Stanford. First offering to him is a breaking ball that's going to miss down low for ball 1. This one's going to be fouled straight back on a good-looking pitch from Lunn that the right-handed hitting Wolf is just able to get a piece of to fight it off. (1-1), another breaking ball that misses down low for ball 2. That puts Wolf ahead of the count.
I'm okay with a couple of those misses from Lunn, though, as he's keeping everything down. Like we talked about on the pregame show, his fastball's not going to overpower you, but it's well located. Even the swing and the foul he got off the bat of Wolf was low and outside. A great pitch.
Keeps another one down low as it's going to be backhanded by the catcher Millis. That runs the count further in Wolf's favor. 3 balls and a strike. Comes the 3-1 home. It is going to just miss up high. Looked pretty good on the fastball from Connor Lunn. And that'll be ball 4. Trotting down to first base is Brandon Wolf. First walk issued by Lunn today. And there's a runner at first with 1 out. Ahead of Gage Workman, tonight's shortstop.
Yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. I mean, like you said, it was a pretty good pitch. But credit Wolf there. I think that was a very disciplined at-bat. he saw his zone. He didn't try to fight it too much. He had a very good idea of what the strike zone was and executed on that.
This one's going to catch the outside corner from Lund for a called strike one. Workman is one of these very frustrated Brewster Whitecaps at the plate. 155 on the year. No homers, just a couple RBI. This one's going to be wasted foul off to the left and out of play. So 0-2 very quickly on the shortstop Gage Workman. The Arizona State Sun Devil just 7 for 45 on the year for that 155 average. This one is a meatball that's going to be skied out to right field. Coming on strong is Isaac Collins, who makes a spectacular diving backhanded catch to rob Gage Workman of a base hit.
We were wondering whether he's going to be comfortable out there in right field, and it seems like he is. What a fantastic effort there by Collins. I mean, we know he's quick, and we know he's a smart player. But even then, in a new position, it can be tough to decide whether you want to take that risk, especially early on. Last thing the Gatemen want to do is give up free base runners, maybe an early deficit, even to a stagnant offense like Brewster's. But the risk paid off there, very calculated from Collins. You love to see that.
We've talked all year about how good the defensive outfield has been for the Gatemen, mainly with the arm of Bryant Packard. But even since he's left, we saw Jeremy Idens make a unbelievable behind-the-back catch over in Bourne. This one's going to be bounced to second, and the force out there will end the inning. Another 0 for Connor Lunn. It is scoreless as we head to the bottom of the second here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
Whatever your goals may be, Joe Crespi and the Merrill Lynch of Taunton will work with you to develop a customized financial strategy designed to help you pursue what's important to you. Managing your wealth and listening to you is their top priority. Folks, after the game, be sure to visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The Cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails.
Second inning we go. It'll be the second inning of work for Ben Dragoni and the Brewster Whitecaps. A couple of hits for the Gatemen in their half, including Isaac Collins, who led off with a single and just made the outstanding catch out in right field. And for the Gatemen this inning, 6, 7, 8, Drew Millis, Ryan Kreidler, and Jacob Goldfarb expected on 90s night here at Spillane Field. Deep Blue Something's come over the speakers here. Enrique and I were talking before the night. This might be the best music night we get this year.
Well, I think so. I mean, even though you and I were born in, you were born in what, 97?
Yeah.
Even though we are barely considered to be 90s kids, I think a lot of these stuff that even we, grew up with and was, caricatured, made fun of, made light of, things like the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, the Spice Girls and stuff like that. That is stuff that, if nothing else, our parents educated us on, and we grew up on the back end of. Well, some of my favorite music as well. I got a fun story to tell you after this.
Cut on a miss by Drew Millis. He's down 0-2. Now, I don't know, you can't relate to this, but I am by far the youngest of 6 total.
No.
So I get that passed down quite a bit.
Oh, you got exposed firsthand to the culture.
I sure did. This is good morning, good afternoon, and good night. A swinging strikeout for Drew Millis on 3 pitches, and he's the first out of the inning. Ryan Kreidler will now stand in. All right, we got to hear this. This is a good tease.
So, on the subject of NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys, hopefully not too many people are listening to this, but I know my parents are listening, and I think my girlfriend is, and they already know this, but in high school, and actually in college for a bit too, I was in a NSYNC / Backstreet Boys lip syncing cover band.
You're kidding.
I'm not. There is video on YouTube. We had a group name. I'm not going to tell you that one, otherwise you will find it. But it is on YouTube.
We wouldn't want that.
Maybe by the end of the year, if the Gatemen clinch a 1 or a 2 seed, make a nice little run to the postseason, celebratorily, we can bust that out here over the loudspeakers at Spillane and have a laugh at my expense. I loved it, though. I think it's a ton of fun. We spent multiple hours rehearsing. Got the dance moves choreographed perfectly from the music videos. It's a high-quality production. Well,
darned if that isn't some incentive. Ryan Kreidler looking to make that a reality further on, and he's going to leave the yard on a 2-0 pitch. Ryan Kreidler, who's already showed flashing the leather out in the field, welcomes himself back to the lineup with a solo shot, and the Gatemen draw first blood. It's 1-0.
UCLA Bruin trying to add on to this early lead, or excuse me, start some semblance of an early lead here for Wareham. It's kind of like we talked about in the pregame show. If the Gatemen are able to get ahead against these Brewster Whitecaps and take advantage of the runners on base, of which there were none here, but it will take advantage of runners on base. They left 2 on base last time. But it seems like the wheels are turning in some capacity, and now onto this weirdly potent bottom of the lineup. All of a sudden, Goldfarb still searching for his first Gateman hit. He's going to chop that one up the middle.
And the play is going to be made there. Workman over to first. Goldfarb tries to ride that momentum after the home run. First pitch swinging. He is out number 2. Enrique, anything you're looking to hear tonight on 90s Night?
I mean, we already got some Smash Mouth. We already got some Spice Girls.
We had a good pregame.
Yeah, pregame was great.
Bunt going to be laid down by Skylar Hunter, but it'll roll foul, so it's strike 1.
I don't know. I was a big Offspring guy. I don't know how well that would play here and just like a more conventional setting, but I did like the Offspring. I really do like NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. I mean, that's part of the reason I did the cover band thing. But I really do like NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. They're awesome.
I have a feeling we'll hear some of that tonight.
I hope so.
I think that's a safe bet. Skylar Hunter stands in. Base is empty and 2 outs. He's already down in the count 0-1. One is going to miss down low, so that evens things at a ball and a strike. Hunter has started to get the bat going. 313 in the month of July here for the Gatemen. So drawn a couple of walks as an RBI. Almost takes that one on the hip, but it just runs inside, and he's now out of the count 2-1 with 2 outs. Cut on and missed, and a nice-looking breaking ball in the outer half. So that'll put things at 2-2 with 2 outs and nobody on base. He's going to shoot this one towards the second baseman, and over there is Freeman to make the 4-3 putout, which will end the inning. Gatemen get 1 on the Ryan Kreidler homer. And his teammate, Jeremy Idens, is going to be joining our Merry Orders in just a moment. But 1-0 the score here on the Gatemen Baseball Network as we're about to head to the 3rd inning. Let's go ahead and send it down to Mary, who's here with Jeremy Idens.
He's going to... Thanks, guys. So, Jeremy, tough loss yesterday. What do the guys need to do or improve upon tonight to get the win?
I think just a little more attention to detail. I thought we could do better in the offensively with hitting guys in, and then defensively, just making the routine play, and taking care of it a little bit more detailed, and we'll be fine.
And we're a little more than halfway through the regular season. What's been your favorite thing about the Cape League so far?
I think just being with the guys. I think everyone here is really talented, but just really good guys on our team. It's a lot of fun just to be around and just having a blast.
Is it fun to meet new guys?
Oh, totally. Get to know their personality and where they're from. We're all from different parts of the country, so that's really interesting.
Jeremy, thanks so much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Mary, as she brings the fire and the one desire of our broadcast. Henrique Demore, big smile coming over his face. Backstreet Boys have started to play as we head to the 3rd inning. What a fitting way to bring it in. Gatemen having it the way they want right now. 1-0 the score off that Ryan Kreidler solo homer in the last inning.
I can always appreciate a good music-based pun coming in from break.
Oh, just get ready for them tonight.
Oh, I believe it. No, I mean,
coming.
you had been hyped about 90s Night for a while now.
I was excited.
Yeah. I mean, I can't blame you.
We were trying to coordinate and do a themed pregame show, but we weren't even sure that it was tonight.
Yeah.
So, sometimes the best pregame shows are the ones you never make. Ike Freeman pops this one up into right center, and Isaac Collins, who's also nicknamed Ike to his friends, will come over and make the catch in right field for the first out. Back to the top of the order, the center fielder, Ray Alejo, the UCF Golden Knight, will step in. He's already 0 for 1 today. He bounced out on another highlight from Ryan Kreidler tonight, that diving stop up the middle. Connor Lunn just delivering his 25th pitch. Here with 1 out in the 3rd inning. It misses down low. 4-1. Maybe not the strike-to-ball ratio he was hoping for, 14-11, but has only issued 1 walk so far. This one just going to miss on the outer half. Runs the count further in Alejo's favor. 2 balls and no strikes. This one is going to catch the inside corner for a called strike 1. Justin Ammons awaits on deck for the Whitecaps. 2-1, clips the outer half, called strike 2. A pitch not too far off from the one that missed for Lunn earlier in the at-bat. This time he gets the call. The 2-2 home is going to be bounced on the ground to second. A tough hop, but handled there by Sahid Valenzuela. And he'll throw over to first for the easy put out for the second out of the inning. Justin Ammons tries to keep things going.
And like you said, Cam, been some 50-50 calls that have some gone Connor Lunn's way and some have not. But that's the way he operates. You live by the black, you die by the black. And Connor Lunn, that's how he works. Paints the outsides of the zone and tries to get weak contact. As long as he keeps it low, he's fine. His location is good enough. I mean, he's the starting closer at USC for a reason. You don't get that job just kind of by accident. So far, so good. I think as long as he keeps it down, especially against the Brewster offense, that like we've talked about almost ad nauseum, even through the 3rd inning, has struggled to get things going, to say the least. I think he's going to be A-okay.
That's much like a guy fans around here might be familiar with, Drew Pomeranz, the Red Sox. Connor Lunn has been great this season, so I hate to put that kind of disrespect on him, but hear me out on this one. He's a guy who uses his fastball, but it's not very hard, and he does live on the corners. He doesn't miss down the middle, and that usually leads to some high walk numbers, but he has kept things in pretty good control so far this season, and again tonight, only just 1 walk. And he is ahead of the count 0-1 to Justin Ammons. 0-1 to the Tennessee Volunteer will miss up high and even things up. Ammons flew out to left field, and Jacob Goldfarb his first time up. So he's 0 for 1. That was back in the 1st inning. This one is going to clip the corner for a called strike 2. And Lunn looks to make it another 0 on the board right here. He's faced 4 in each of the first 2 innings. Can make it 1-2-3 as he's got a 1-2 count here in the 3rd to Justin Ammons. It's going to be bounced to first base. There is that first 1-2-3 inning. Lyle Lockhart will take it himself, and the Whitecaps go down in order. 1-0 is our score as we head to the bottom of the 3rd here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu. curry.edu.
And it's time for your first Cape League update of the night. The furthest game along is Falmouth against the Yarmouth Zenith Red Sox. In that game, the Commodores lead 5-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Starting pitcher for the Commodores, Adam Lasky, went 6 innings, allowed just 1 run, and struck out 8. Over in Bourne, the Cotuit Kettleers lead 3-1 in the top of the 4th. Three different Kettleers had RBIs in the 3rd inning, as Cotuit scored all 3 of their runs in that inning. Over in Harwich, the Mariners lead 2-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. And over in Chatham, the Orleans Firebirds are taking on the Anglers as that game is just getting underway in the top of the 1st. That's our first Cape League update of the night. Guys, back to you.
Thank you to our beat writer Ian Vicera, who takes the double duties tonight as it's a home game. 1-0 is the score. The Gatemen lead. Alongside me is Henrique DeMore. I'm Cameron Stewart. 1-2-3 due up top of the order for Wareham, starting with Isaac Collins, who will once again bat from the right side. Already 1 for 1 today with a hard hit single back in the 1st inning.
And the game to watch for the Gatemen, well, there's one game to watch, I think, as Ian mentioned in the Cape League update. For me personally, one game to watch for the Gatemen, obviously it's Hyannis versus Harwich, and Harwich ahead of that went 2-0. But Falmouth, every game that Falmouth plays going forward as strike one is delivered to Collins, I'll be watching closely because that team is also weird. I have gotten into many an argument with one of my broadcast friends from Cotuit named Sam Brief, and he's convinced that Hyannis is going to crash out of the standings and land in 5th and not make the playoffs. He is very, very convinced.
Wow, that's bold.
Yeah,
that run differential must speak volumes to him.
Exactly, and so that's what he says. He says, "Look, run differential is a fantastic indicator. I think Hyannis is fluky. I think they're going to crash out. I think Falmouth sneaks in as a 4."
Interesting take there, as this one misses outside, puts it at 1-2 to Collins.
So I've been a little more interested in that, and his Kettleer is beating up on the Bourne Braves 3-1, but Falmouth ahead of a very good YD Red Sox team at Red Wilson Field 5-1.
Falmouth playing some good baseball.
They really are.
This one's going to be bounced on the ground to short. A couple of hops and a low throw is going to be dug out that time, and the out is recorded. 6-3 on the put out, and Isaac Collins is retired for the first time today. A nice glove out there by Chris Wright, the first baseman, to make sure of it. Zahid Valenzuela will now stand in. Switch hitter will bat right. He's already 0 for 1 today. Popped one up to the catcher Martirano, back in the 1st. This one going to miss up high for him. 4-1. Valenzuela, switch hitter, has done well, done some serious damage off lefties this year, a 400 average. A couple of doubles, a home run from the right-hand side. That was against Brewster. The only time these two teams met, a 3-2 extra innings win for the Gatemen. 1-1 to him. It's going to be socked up the middle. Second baseman going to make a nice play on it as he's moving way in towards the infield. Like Freeman is able to gobble it up and throw it on over to right at first. 2 ground ball outs for the first 2 men who were due up in this Gatemen half of the 3rd inning.
Been impressed with the gloves so far today. Isaac Collins made a very nice play, obviously. Ryan Kreidler with a good glove out there at short, but the middle infield for Brewster has also been very solid. The Gatemen do have the best defense in the Cape League, still hold that title by 1 error. They have 21, anybody else has a little more than that, but Brewster, a little more surprising, is they have a walloping 42 errors. Good for a .950 fielding percentage, that's worst in the Cape League, but so far so good for them.
A bit of a weird encounter there. The home plate umpire comes out to grab the ball from the starter, Dragani, and just had a check on it and gave it back to him. Don't know if he maybe thought Dragani was doctoring it. Some scandal, Henrique?
After all the potential scandal we saw in yesterday's game between the Gatemen and the Harbor Hawks, I don't know how much more this little heart can take. But it seems like such a weird thing to do on the Cape League. I mean, I get you want to pat your stats and all that, but I just feel like no one has the time or energy to doctor baseballs here. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
You think this league's too innocent?
I think it is.
Still getting used to it.
Maybe you've been here a year.
Of America's pastime.
You're a wily veteran. Maybe you think I'm a little naive here, but hey,
you never know in this game.
No.
2-1 is the count to Austin Shenton, who struck out swinging his first time up. Designated hitter tonight for the Gatemen. He's going to foul this one straight back. He's in danger again, as now the count stands at 2-2. 2 outs and nobody aboard. Shenton, another RBI in the game last night against Hyannis, his 18th on the year. Gonna fist that one off to the right and back to the screen. The count will stay at 2-2. And waiting on this one is Shenton, and it's just past the outstretched glove of Ike Freeman at second base. And after being retired with the strikeout in the first inning, Shenton comes back in his second at-bat and delivers a sharp single to right field, and he is on with 2 outs.
And can't keep Mr. Shenton quiet for long, even yesterday, as that was, statistically speaking, one of the worst, and I feel bad even saying that because he went 1 for 4 with an RBI, but that was one of the worst performances at the plate we've seen from Shenton. That's just how good he's been, and you know that similar to Andrew Vaughn, no matter what happens in the first couple at-bats, you can count on him to be a student of the game, work at-bat to at-bat, find out pitchers' tendencies and how he can exploit them. That's part of the reason, anyway, for his stellar 400-plus batting average, that after that base knock, moved back up to 410. It is truly ridiculous.
It has been a season for the books for Austin Shenton out of FIU. Hasn't been so much so far for Lyle Lockhart, but he does have a single today. He's 1 for 1. Finds himself down in the count. 0-2, though, this time to Dragani. With 2 outs, here's the 0-2. Gonna bounce it off himself. So he stays in there at no balls and 2 strikes. And for Lockhart, in the first inning with that single, makes him just 2 for 11 on the year against lefties. So what was a 100 average now goes up to 181 with that hit against left-handers. Going to foul this one off to the right and out of play. 0-2 remains the count. Going to miss inside, does not get Lockhart to chase after it. So the new count is a ball and 2 strikes to the Gatemen first baseman. Going to miss up above the letters. So Lockhart working himself back in the count. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And that on the offensive front has been one of the more consistent parts of Lyle Lockhart's game. Is even in the days where we see him go 0 for 1, 0 for 2, it's only because he's walked multiple times in can't think of a good word, a lot of games. I was trying to think of a fun, colorful adjective, but I couldn't think of one.
Come on. You're killing me here.
I know. That's like what I should do as a broadcaster. Also, that one did not miss by much. That was a really good pitch from Dragani. Yeah.
Lockhart counting his blessings to stay in there. He's hitting just 207 this year in 29 at-bats with guys on base, but has delivered 9 RBI. He's another one of these Gatemen who has had family up this week. It was announced the last home game here at Spillane back on Saturday night. You ready for this family, Henrique?
Hit me with it.
So Lyle is junior. So Lyle, Kyle, and Kylie.
Wow.
All in the same family from Friendswood, Texas.
Lyle, Kyle, and Kylie from Friendswood.
Yep.
Sounds like a reality TV show.
I think we should sign that up. I think we should get that going.
See if we can cook up a pilot by the end of the year.
He looks like he should be a TV star with that hair he's got going. And on the theme of 90s night, Mary Orders and I were talking about this before the game. I'm thinking NSYNC Justin Timberlake with the mop. Just make it a little blonde, a little frosted tips.
I think that's the differentiator, is the frosted tips. Obviously an iconically late 90s hairstyle, but...
he's going to turn on this one to left field, trying to keep iconic, but an iconic diving catch out there in left field by Wolf is going to retire the side. Lockhart robbed of a base hit after a good at-bat there. And we head to the fourth. It's still 1-0 Gatemen here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Get Gatemen gear. Check out the latest styles and colors of your favorite Gatemen apparel. Also in stock, a large selection of Cape League items, including tickets to the All-Star Game. Test your pitching speed and pick up a souvenir ball, all at our merchandise booth.
Since 1950, Morse Insurance has consistently offered the best insurance at competitive rates to generations of clients in southern Massachusetts. If you're frustrated with paying for what essentially feels like just a piece of paper, it's time for you to check out the one-of-a-kind client experience that only Morse Insurance can deliver.
The 2018 Cape League All-Star Game will be played at White House Field in Harwich, Sunday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., gates open at 2. One highlight will be the Cumberland Farms home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Support the Gatemen in part by purchasing your ticket right now at the merchandise booth. Tickets are just $5.
To the fourth inning we go. Connor Lunn out there for his fourth inning of work. It's still not allowed a Whitecap to cross home plate. In fact, no one has gotten to second base for Brewster. A hit and a walk have been the only guys that have reached for the Whitecaps. A 1-2-3 third inning for him. And it's still a 1-0 ball game. The difference in it, the Ryan Kreidler solo home run back in the second. Connor Grams will step in now, designated hitter. Has the only hit for Brewster today. A single right back up the middle with 2 outs in his only at-bat in the first inning. Nice breaking ball on the outside corner for a called strike 1. This one going to miss off the inside about knee-high, 2 Grams, so that'll even things at a ball and a strike. This one's going to be cut on and missed. Pitch just above the belt, a challenge pitch from Connor Lunn, and he wins that one. Ahead of the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, no kidding. He spent most of the game trying to be evasive. Then he said, you know what? Low inside fastball. See how you like it. I dare you to hit it. He got the better of him there, like you said, Cam.
See where he goes to on 2 strikes. It's the breaking ball down in the dirt. But keeping his fishing rod at home is Connor Grams. He will stay in there at 2-2. Drew Millis stretching himself out a little bit. That one might have caught a piece of him as he had to dive outside to keep it in front of him. Two is going to be swung on and fouled off to the left and out of play. Another pitch that Connor Lunn leaves a little bit low and inside, right where right-handed power hitters like it. Connor Grams, with only a .243 average, certainly constitutes himself as that. With only 8 RBI on the year, but 4 homers for Brewster. 2-2, He's late on this one in defensive and will sky it back foul. Well, behind the press box, Drew Millis finally finds out where it's gone. Had a little trouble reading that one off the bat. Two home again is going to be rocketed towards the second baseman, Sahid Valenzuela. Will take it on a couple of hops and will retire Connor Grams, who puts up a battle, but he represents out number one here in the top half of the fourth inning. Brandon Martirano now will come up. Catcher from North Carolina is 0 for 1 today. He flew out to right field, and he was robbed by Isaac Collins out in right field. First offering to him with one out is going to catch the outside corner on the fastball from Lunn. 0-1 is the count. (0-1) is going to be waited on and will be fouled off to the right out by the Gatemen fan section here at Spillane Field behind their first base dugout. Martirano just 3 for 17 on the early year, but one of those three is a solo homer for the North Carolina Tar Heel, wearing his Carolina blue batting gloves. Is behind in the count, 1-2 to the USC Trojan Connor Lunn. (1-2). Good looking pitch on the inside corner, but will miss for ball two. Puts things at 2 balls and 2 strikes. (2-2) is going to miss definitely this time. A little bit high and on the inside corner. So that'll run the count full. First full count Connor Lunn's had to deal with today, and it comes with 1 out in the 4th inning. Brandon Martirano. Martirano's going to stay in there on the full count as he wastes this one foul off to the right and out of play.
And like you said, Martirano putting in a really good at-bat. UNC Tar Heel, like you said, just driving up the pitch count of Connor Lunn. I mean, I don't expect him to go more than 4 as he usually, like we talked about it a bunch. He's a closer. He's not used to going more than an inning or 2 at a time. But on the Cape, he's gone 3-4 innings at a time. But the pitch count up until this inning had been solid. Martirano rocketing it up right now. He's close to 50.
It's pitch number 47, and it's going to be popped up foul. Looks to be some room for Lyle Lockhart, but he runs out of it, as this will fall harmlessly out of play. And a real battle continues for Martirano, with Chris Wright, the first baseman, waiting on deck, and Brandon Wolf, who made the diving catch in left field to end the last half inning, if anyone is able to get on. (3-2) cut on and missed. On a pitch on the inside corner, Connor Lunn comes out victorious in the battle. It's his first strikeout of the day, which is brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exifaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen.
Finally got it there. Really good pitch sequence, and especially considering Martirano put together such a good at-bat. He was painting the corners, painting all the edges of the strike zone like he should, but Martirano doing his job as well. Kept on fouling off the bad stuff, and finally Connor Lunn won a challenge pitch. Really good resiliency shown from both sides, but Lunn walks away the victor in this one.
I think we saw just about everything Connor Lunn had in his arsenal in that at-bat. He's able to come away with strikeout number 1, and he's coming up a little lame after that pitch misses.
Uh-oh.
And he's doubled down right now. It might well have pulled something coming down through his follow-through. Gateman trainers will come out. Jim Lawler, the pitching coach, will come out. One plate umpire as well. Everyone's coming in to check on their starter, Connor Lund.
Yeah, looks like something in the right leg as he's stretching it out. Getting a trainer to stretch him out. Looks like a hammy or a calf.
And so while they get Connor Lund stretched out, we're going to take a quick break here on the Gatemen Baseball Network, and we'll see when he comes back if Connor Lund's still in the game.
Head on over to BB's Bar and Grill for food, drinks, and fun. Located just off Cranberry Highway, come in to sample the scrumptious fare or relax with a drink while enjoying live entertainment. The Gatemen thank BB's Bar and Grill for their support.
The law firm of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
Stop by the Ansel S. Gurney House, where you will find a unique shopping and dining experience. Whether shopping for a special occasion or just to treat yourself, you'll find what you're looking for in one of the 11 themed rooms. There's also a cafe serving fresh homemade lunches overlooking the extensive gardens. The Ansel S. Gurney House is located at 403 County Road in Marion.
Back ready for baseball. Connor Lund seems to be okay. He stays in the game. Chris Wright is the new hitter. Now taking his second pitch, and that will miss outside for ball 2-0. Doesn't seem to be action going on down in the Gatemen bullpen. They did have Jared Horn throwing as soon as the game started. Now, as I say it, they start getting someone up. This one going to catch the top of the strike zone for strike one. 2-1's the count.
Yeah, I think you just got to be safe. I mean, in the Cape League, you're used to your starters going 4 innings. Don't want to let Lund work too hard, harder than he needs to, even though he has been really darn good so far. Lund, like you said, Cam is one of the more consistent pieces of this rotation, so can't risk it.
This one's going to be skying out to left field. Looks like he's going to get out of the inning unscathed. Goldfarb will go back on it, and that is out number 3. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Connor Lund. Still 1-0 our score as we head to the bottom of the 4th here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Bay Point Golf Club offers a unique collection of 18 championship golf holes, a beautiful banquet facility, and a club host that has a fully stocked pro shop. The Bay Point Grill is a perfect place to grab a meal or watch a game. The course is located off of Onset Avenue in Buzzards Bay. The Gatemen thank you for your support.
Are you hungry? Visit the concession stand for some new menu items. Try fried dough, chicken fingers, or french fries along with your regular favorites, hot dogs, burgers, cold drinks, and ice cream. Proceeds from the concession stand support the Gatemen and the Wareham High DECA program. Got legal trouble? Attorney Mark Deshays is here to help the greater New Bedford area with real estate and business law, estate planning, and probate. Visit him today.
We head to the bottom of the 4th. It's still Ben Dragani on the mound for the Whitecaps, who has just one blemish on the day, the solo homer by Ryan Kreidler back in the 2nd inning. He's only allowed 4 hits through his 3 innings and has left 3 men stranded. Alongside me, Henrique DeMore, I'm Cameron Stewart, bringing you the second matchup of the year between these two teams. This past Friday, Gatemen were supposed to make their first trip to Stony Brook, but the game rained out, rescheduled for tomorrow, so that's where Gatemen Baseball Network will be tomorrow night at Stony Brook in Brewster. These two teams will square off for a 5 o'clock matchup. No lights in Stony Brook, so a little bit earlier for you. Pre-game will be at 4:30. Paven Parks will start things off in the bottom half of the 4th inning. So for 1 on the day, he left 2 men stranded his last time up. A swinging strikeout back in the 1st. First pitch going to miss inside. Lefty-lefty matchup. (1-0) going to run a bit too far inside once again. Out about knee high to Paven Parks. So nice hitter's count for the Gatemen third baseman today. 2 balls, no strikes. As Drew Millis waits on deck. got a pitch he liked but fouled it straight back. Just missing it is Parks. So put a strike on him. It's 2-1. Lights have just come on here at Spillane Field. Still plenty of sun to deal with out and right for Justin Ammons this half inning. Another pitch missing in. 3-1 the count. Not much to speak of wind. The only gusts we've had tonight have gone from right field to center field. And out there in center, Alejo playing Parks to go the other way. He's shaded well out towards left, but pulling this one foul is Parks. And second time tonight, Dragani has gotten a Gateman to break their bat. Nothing shattered yet, but this one enough for Paven Parks to ditch it. He's picked out the one he likes. Took a little bit, but he's got it. And looks to do damage on what is now a full count against Dragani, who is about to deliver pitch number 55 on the day in just 3+ innings of work.
Yeah, I'm remembering as I looked back at Dragani's numbers from Michigan, and they were good. Big Ten first team all freshmen. Some of those words I think are in the right order. But third team all Big Ten as a whole. Really great starter out there for in Ann Arbor for the Wolverines.
This one's going to be roped to right field, and pulling one for a single is Paven Parks. Gets in a hitter's count, but runs it full to 3-2. And Parks gets a pitch he can do damage on, and will just dunk it into right field for a base hit ahead of Ammon. Second leadoff hit for the Gatemen in this game, ahead of Drew Millis.
When I was looking back at his numbers, I'm thinking, man, Ben Dragani, why does that name sound familiar? And I thought it was because we saw him against Brewster. We saw him against Brewster the last time these two teams played, but that was not the case. It was because he made mincemeat of my Northwestern Wildcats in, I mean, not that anyone doesn't really make mincemeat of the Wildcats. They did not have a good year this year, baseball-wise. But he went 7 strong against the Wildcats, struck out almost 10 guys. It was not pretty. The Michigan Wolverines swept us. That was in the middle of their, I think it was a 14 or 15 game win streak they had in the middle of conference play. It was truly ridiculous.
Drew Millis now the man at the plate, squared around a bunt first time, head of the count 1-0, but now things even at 1-1. And a pitch in the outside corner that Millis didn't like. It was a great year for Michigan out of the Big Ten, getting an NCAA tournament berth for the Wolverines. 1-1 to Millis, is going to skip inside. Switch hitter batting right has struggled from this side of the plate this year. Just 133 the average, 2 for 15. No extra base hits, an RBI. Certainly prefers to bat left. Running with the pitch is Parks. A feeble swing and a miss, and getting down to second is Parks, and the ball is going to bounce to a shortstop position that no one is covering. Parks forcing the issue, will get into third base standing up. Some aggressive base running by Paven Parks moves him from first to third on the stolen base attempt.
That was gutsy, not only the run itself, but he did see that the ball was a little bit of a dribbler and that over at shortstop, Workman was going to have to catch up with it. But he didn't slide. I mean, it seemed like if you're going to be that aggressive and running over to third base like that, at least be safe about it. That was a little too nonchalant for me going into the third base there by Parks. But all's well that ends well.
It was pretty surprising that he went in standing up. And for the second time today, Drew Millis will strike out swinging, leaving Parks at third with now 1 out in the inning. So just a stolen base for Parks going down to second, then a throwing error on the catcher Martirano. As the ball skipped away to where the shortstop normally would have been, but of course Workman went over to cover. So that's how Parks gets to third. 1 out in the inning, and Ryan Kreidler, who already has an RBI tonight via the solo homer he hit last time up. First pitch is low and on the inside corner for a called strike 1 to the shortstop out of UCLA. Kreidler 250 on the year. His first homer of the season back in the second inning. And will bounce one to Workman. Infield was in. He's going to come home with it, and they have got Pavin Parks dead to rights at home plate.
Yep, infield was in, and a very nice play made there by Workman as he went down to backhanded, but it kind of took a hop on him, and it took the legs out from under him. But he popped up and made a nice throw down to home plate. Kreidler not initially sure whether he was going to go, but he saw the ball eat him up over there at short, and went exactly as planned for the Brewster Whitecaps. Still a runner on first, but 2 down here, and the run erased.
So a bit of poetic justice from the Brewster side to eliminate Pavin Parks. And this one is going to be fisted to Gage Workman at shortstop. Going to make a nice running throw and a big stretch at first base by Chris Wright. And a frustrated Jacob Goldfarb is retired in spectacular fashion. So the Gatemen threaten a few times in the inning, get a man to third, but he's knocked out at home plate. And still nothing across for them since the second inning. As we head to the fifth, it's 1-0 Gatemen here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Founded in 1854, the Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company is the world's largest cranberry grower and private property owner in eastern Massachusetts. The company supports organizations like the Wareham Gatemen and projects like the outdoor cranberry bog classroom that you may have passed on your way in. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more.
Located in Wareham Crossing, Coastal Orthodontics, longtime sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen, knows the importance of a healthy smile. Dr. Kevin Oliveira and his team at Coastal Orthodontics are a patient-focused practice, delivering professional, effective orthodontic treatment based on the individual clinical needs of each patient, resulting in beautiful smiles in a timely manner. With 10 years of experience using Invisalign, Coastal Orthodontics uses the most up-to-date dental equipment.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings, to boats. Village Signs has proudly served southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.inc.com for all your signage needs.
To the fifth inning we go. 1-0 still the lead for the Gatemen, and still on the mound is Connor Lunn. He's already battled through 4 innings and a bit of an injury scare back in the top half of the fourth. But he stays out there. He'll face 6, 7, and 8. Wolf, Workman, and Malfetta due up. First pitch going to miss down low for ball 1. Wolf has still 0 for 0 tonight. Walked back in the second inning. Fastball on the outside corner for a called strike evens things up on him. (1-1). Wolf gets under it and skies it out to left field. Barely having to move is Jacob Goldfarb, and he will keep it in front of him and make the catch. For the first out in the fifth inning, Wolf is retired for the first time tonight. Now Gage Workman, who was pivotal in the last half inning, keeping the Gatemen off the board. He gunned down Pavin Parks from his shortstop position at home plate, and then made a nice play to retire Goldfarb and end the inning. He'll stand in. 0 for 1 tonight. Takes this pitch on the outside corner. Fastball from Connor Lunn gets him ahead of the count. No balls and a strike. (0-1). Breaking pitch misses down low and away from the left-handed hitting Workman. So 0 for 1 today. Flew on to Isaac Collins, his first time up. (1-1). Going to miss outside, so put Workman ahead of the count. 2 balls and a strike. Workman trying to build on that 156 average. Takes that one down low and in. So the count runs to 3-1. Just a .283 on base percentage for him on the Cape as well. can add to that number with one more pitch out of the strike zone here from Connor Lunn. 3-1. Upset with himself for swinging at that pitch. May have been ball 4. It was up in the zone from Lunn. He fouls it off to the right and puts him in the second full count that Connor Lunn has had to deal with today.
It's like they say, there's a fine line between bravery and foolhardiness, and that fastball up in the zone, I think, towed that line. That was just enough out of the zone. It was a good pitch from Lund, but any lower could have been some serious damage done there by Workman.
3-2 is going to be skied out to left field and in the direction of Jacob Goldfarb once again, and he will make the catch. That continues the frustrating season for Gage Workman. He's out of the count 3-1, gets it full, and is retired by the second flyout of the inning to left field by the Whitecaps. Christian Malfetta, another Stanford Cardinal, will come up to the plate. Playing third base for the Whitecaps today. Hasn't had any work down there, as this is the first time I've called his name today. He was quickly retired on a fielder's choice, 6-4, to end the last inning. End the inning the last time up. That was back in the second. First pitch misses low on a bunt attempt, so 1-0 is the count. Not surprising to see Malfetta try and lay one down, get something going for him. A 108 average on the Cape. He's ahead of the count 2-0 here. Just 4 for 37 for the Whitecaps this year. No homers and 1 RBI. And now Connor Lund's going to call out Drew Millis to the mound. It's been a workman-like performance for him today. 63 pitches, only 37 of them for strikes. He's behind Christian Malfetta 2-0, and he has retired 10 straight Whitecaps. Last runner was Brandon Wolf, reaching back on a walk with 1 out in the second inning. Well, he's 1 pitch away from putting another man on as this one misses low and away. 3-0 is the ultimate hitter's count to Christian Malfetta. Taking all the way, it's going to catch the inside corner. Let's put a strike on him, 3-1. Lund to the windup. Here's the pitch. It's going to get to Kreidler deep in the hole. It's short. He's got to make a long throw, and it was there in time, but it's going to get past Lyle Lockhart, and Malfetta will slide into second base for good measure, but no throw anywhere near there as ball gets away from Lockhart, and with 2 outs, Whitecaps put their first man in scoring position today on a bit of a wacky play.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's one of those 50-50 balls. You don't really know who to place it on. Not a fantastic throw by Kreidler, but I think good enough to where, at least for Lockhart, and I want to say this to his credit, that he really has made that type of play pretty consistently all year. He's been really good carrying on the mantle defensively anyway from Andrew Vaughn. Tough break here, and like you said earlier, Cam, first guy to reach second today for the Brewster Whitecaps.
He will get there via a single and an error. That was one. It looked like he was going to get there anyway. Kreidler had to make a tough play at shortstop. But then the throw getting away from Lyle Lockhart on a hop is what gets him down to second base, where he stands now in a 1-0 count to Ike Freeman, as Lund is starting to lose the zone a bit in this inning. Announcer's jinx in full effect. He gets one in on the inside corner right there to even things at a ball and a strike. Still just a little bit of action going down the Wareham bullpen. Some loose throwing by a right-hander down there. Lund's 1-1. Pitch he wanted misses outside and puts Freeman ahead of the count, 2-1. Freeman, in his one at-bat today, flew out to Isaac Collins out in right field. Collins has been awfully busy out there today after going his first full game in right field last week without a putout. On the ground to Kreidler, another tough play, but he makes it look easy. 6-3 on the putout, and the Whitecaps get their first man into scoring position, and he will be stranded right there. Halfway through the game, it's 1-0 Wareham as we head to the bottom of the fifth here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Gatemen wish to thank Patty Wild and the trustees of the Trust for their continued support of Gatemen Baseball in Wareham.
South Coast Health, operators of Charlton Memorial Hospital, St. Luke's Hospital, and Toby Hospital, delivers an unmatched combination of clinical excellence with a personal touch. They are proud to serve as southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island's only not-for-profit health system, as well as the region's largest employer. South Coast Health, the best care plus something more.
One of the Gatemen's favorite places for their post-game meals is Cool Cone, where you can get anything from fried clams and fried chicken to an ice cream sundae, and then top it all off with a round of mini golf. Cool Cone, located on Route 6 on the Wareham-Marion line.
As we head to the bottom of the fifth, 9-1-2 expected in the Gatemen lineup. And purely speculation, but on good accord, Connor Lunn is heading down to the bullpen right now, so you got to assume his day is done. He finishes with 5 strong innings, did not allow a Brewster Whitecap to cross the plate, only gave up 2 hits and 3 base runners. And as we mentioned last inning, only 1 man into scoring position.
Yeah, really solid outing from Lunn. Kept the base runners down in general. He only 1 walk, like he said, and really masterful from him. Only 1 strikeout's not too unfamiliar as that one shot into right field for a single. Skylar Hunter stays hot. Now it's the Gatemen's job to try to give him a little more run support. It'll be interesting to see what happens when the bullpen comes in. As we've talked about, it's been a bit of an up-and-down year for them. But 1 run for the team with the best differential in the Cape against the team with the worst differential in the Cape just seems odd.
Funny game, isn't it?
Funny game.
And even funnier, that's the 3rd leadoff single for the Gatemen this game. And none of them have come around to score. The only run came on the Ryan Kreidler solo shot with 1 out in the second. Isaac Collins looking to change that trend. He's ahead of the count, a ball and no strikes. By the way, it's still Ben Dragani out there, who is up to 65 pitches. This pitch about to be number 66 on the outing. And Collins gets under it. Left center field. Converging over there to make the play is Wolf. Brandon Wolf makes quick work of Isaac Collins, and there's 1 gone here in the 5th inning with a man at first base. Zahid Valenzuela will now step up with that man at first base. Uncharacteristic start to the night, 0 for 2. Fouled out to the catcher in the 1st inning and grounded out to second base his last time up. For a guy who is really mashing off lefties this year. 400 average coming into the day. And also coming into the game, a 478 average in the month of July. Cut on and miss. And a pitch outside by Valenzuela puts him down 0-1. And before the 0-1 is made, Dragani will throw on over to first base, but getting back in there is Skylar Hunter, who got there via a leadoff single. That was hits in each of his last 3 starts for the Gatemen. And he's going on this one, and swinging away is Zahid Valenzuela, and it's going to hang up in center field. They got a chance for 2. Hunter had already slid into second. It's going to be a close one there, and they get the tag in there. Irate at first base is Skylar Hunter and Matt Miller, the first base coach, and now Don Sneddon's going to have to give his 2 cents on a double play, a very quirky one that ends the inning 8-3 on the double play, so the Gatemen erased. We'll see if Don Sneddon stays in this game, as he is really giving it to the first base umpire. 1-0 our score as we head to the 6th inning here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you.
The Gateway Tavern, located on Marion Road in Wareham, offers an extensive but not exhaustive array of menu choices. They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden fresh produce to hand-selected seafood, and have special menus that change daily. The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gatemen.
Established in 1877, TM Ryder is a family-run insurance agency located in downtown Middleborough, Massachusetts. TM Ryder's goal is to find the best coverage at a fair rate for their customers, but they really value giving the best service they can provide. Visit the office on Thatcher's Row if you would like P&C insurance information, quotes, and policies.
And as we head to the 6th inning here from Spillane Field, we do have a new pitcher on the mound for the Gatemen. Nathan Florence from Hartford will come in to relieve Connor Lunn. Of course, that pitching change is brought to you by the Bay Point Country Club, Onset's 18-hole championship golf course. With a driving range open 7 days a week and senior discounts offered every day and always welcome to the public. So get to the point. Nathan Florence, who's struggled mightily this year out of the bullpen for the Gatemen, so much so that he hasn't appeared in a game in almost 2 weeks. Last time he came in was a 7-3 win over Chatham back on June 27th, a game in which he gave up 2 runs in 2 innings and struck out 3. On the year, no record, an ERA of 10.12 in his 3 appearances, and he's only pitched 5 1/3 innings, and in that time has allowed 6 runs. Struck out 8 and has walked 5. He's got the top of the Brewster order, and he's protecting a 1-0 lead. As this game has moved along fairly quickly, only an hour and a half in, just about, a little bit under actually. And we play on to the top of the 6th. First pitch misses up high to Ray Alejo. Second offering is going to miss again, so Alejo's ahead of the count 2-0. And he has kept his head and his bat to the ground tonight. A couple of ground outs, one to Ryan Kryler to start off the game, and to Sahid Valenzuela at second his last time up in the 3rd inning. This one gets over for Florence, so the count now stands at 2 balls and a strike. Alejo, 289 coming into today on the Cape. A couple of doubles, a triple, 3 RBI. 373 on base percentage. This pitch looked pretty good on the inside corner, but will miss down low. So that puts the count further in Alejo's favor. 3 balls and a strike. (3-1) cut on and missed on an elevated fastball. Actually foul tipped into Drew Millis's mitt. So that runs the count full on the first batter that Nathan Florence will have to face coming out of the bullpen. 3-2 will miss, and Alejo will add to that 323 on base percentage. 373 on base percentage. It's the 2nd walk of the day issued by Gatemen pitching. Of course, the first of the night for Nathan Florence. And with nobody out, there's a man on. That brings Drew Millis out to the mound. A quick conversation ahead of the right fielder, Justin Ammons. We've got someone looking down on us tonight. Get a nice shot of the helicopter looking over Spillane Field on a gorgeous Cape Cod night. Not too hot today like we've experienced in the last week, Enrique. It was only about the low 80s at its high.
Yeah, that heat wave was something else. I think all of us glad that that's over, and
we think.
Yeah, we hope anyway. Still a lot of July to go.
But it's turning into one of these crisp, cool nights like we had last night in Hyannis. Turning around to bunt is Ammons, and it's a brutal one. Just terrible as he pops it up behind home plate, and Drew Millis is right on it. And a bad sacrifice attempt gives the Gatemen an out number 1 here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, that's absolutely brutal, like you said. You got to do anything except for that. Get it on the ground in some direction, foul, fair, whatever, but just do not do that. Tough break there for Mr. Ammons. It goes to 0 for 3 on the day.
And that, kids, is a prime example of something guys just don't practice anymore. The bunt for a base hit or for a sacrifice. This one's called strike to Connor Graham's the designated hitter. It's become kind of a lost art in the game of baseball. But we did see Orleans practicing that down at Eldridge Park before the game there at the end of June that the Gatemen played. It was interesting to see. They had 6 or 8 guys who were practicing the bunt, not a part of batting practice, not some of those mail it in last pitches, bunt and run down to first base. They were actually really practicing it down there, so not something you see too much anymore. Check in at first base, but Ray Alejo is back in there safely. Graham's 1 for 2 today. He's singled, first hit of the game back in the 1st inning, and grounded out to second his last time up. Runner stopped, and then started again, but it's going to be popped up into foul territory. There's a play for Lyle Lockhart, and right in front of our WCTV camera down there, Lockhart is going to make the catch for out number 2. A couple of foul pops keeps Alejo at first base ahead of Brandon Martirano.
And you saw Ray Alejo. I mean, he was all the way down to second base. This Brewster Whitecaps team, actually with 34 stolen bases, second most on the Cape League. So when they get runners aboard, they actually are pretty good about doing something with them. But Alejo, he's on his way down to second and then scampered, and I mean scampered, back to first base. Did not want to end up like Skylar Hunter.
So with 2 outs, Alejo still standing at first. Takes a bit of a jump, and now they throw on over. But he dives back in there safely. Martirano is another one of these 0 for 2s. He flew out to Isaac Collins back in the 1st, struck out, was the only strikeout victim for Connor Lunn back in the 4th inning. Now Alejo's going, and he got a good jump on it too. Millis not able to get it down there in time, so Ray Alejo is in there with the stolen base, his 4th of the year for the Whitecaps. They've got just their 2nd man in scoring position, and it falls on Martirano, the catcher, to bring him in with 2 outs.
And 35th of the year, like we've alluded to. The Whitecaps, if there's one thing they can do consistently well, it is run, second only to the Chatham Anglers on all their stolen bases.
0-1 to Martirano is going to be grounded to Sahid Valenzuela, who hoovers it up and will throw on to first for the out that retires the side. So they get a man down to second, but he gets stranded right there. We're going to take a quick break here in the middle of the 6th, and when we come back, our beat writer Ian Vicera will have our second and final look around the league.
The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Second and final Cape League update of the night. Over in Yarmouth Dennis, that game has gone final. The Falmouth Commodores win that one 6-3. All in all, 8 total errors were committed. YD committed 5 errors in that one, and Falmouth committed 3. Matt Walder with the home run in that one for the Commodores. Over in Bourne, the Braves have stormed back to score 4 unanswered runs. Chase Murray with the 2-run RBI double in the 3rd to cap a 3-run inning. It is now the bottom of the 6th. Braves lead that one 5-3. Over in Harwich, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Mariners are tied 3-3 in the top of the 5th. And over in Chatham, the Firebirds still lead the Anglers 3-0 in the bottom of the 4th. That's the Cape League update. Back to you guys.
Thank you, as always, Ian Becerra, for our final look around the rest of the Cape tonight. Where we are right now, 1-0, the Gatemen lead. As we head to the bottom of the 6th, a quick-moving game here from Spillane Field. The difference in the game tonight, the Ryan Kreidler solo homer, his first of the year. And out for a 6th inning of work is Ben Dragani, working on 68 pitches coming into the inning. He will face the heart of the Gatemen order. 3-4-5 due up, Shenton, Lockhart, and Paven Parks.
Yeah, I was going to say, if there's a time to bust into this kid, it is right about now. He's nearing the high on his pitch count. 3-4-5 up. This is the part where we try to put the game away, not make this closer than it needs to be, because the Gatemen, remember, the last time these two teams played, it was at Spillane Field. Took a 3-2 extra inning effort for them to beat the Brewster Whitecaps, and they had a comfortable lead going into the 9th inning. They blew it in the 9th, made it a 2-2 ball game, and it took a walk-off single by Brian Packard to score. I believe it was Zahid Valenzuela. But in this game, unfortunately, looking like it might end up the same way for the Gatemen.
Certainly some missed opportunities in both those games. This one's going to be shot on the ground to short. Gage Workman will gobble it up and throw him on over to first for a quick out, number 1. There is some action down in the Brewster bullpen down the left field line, but nothing too serious. Just some guys starting to stretch out a bit right now. So they're certainly relying on Dragani this inning anyway. And he's already got a quick out. Just 2 pitches in the at-bat to Austin Shenton. Now Lyle Lockhart will come up to the plate. The guys look good at the plate tonight. A hard single in the first, and then he was robbed out there in left field earlier in the game by Brandon Wolf. That one back in the 3rd inning. Gets the benefit of a call here. This one missing just down low. Put the count at 1-0. This one going to miss up letter high. Put Lockhart further ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Little excuse me swing on this pitch. Bounces it off the plate and back foul. 4 strike 1. Two-1 is going to catch the outside corner. Took a little something off it, did Dragani. That puts things at 2-2. It's the Gatemen first baseman, switch hitter, batting right. Time is called by the catcher Martirano before this 2-2 pitch. Going to wait on it is Lockhart, and that's down the right field line. A fair ball past the diving first baseman, Chris Wright. He's going to try and go to second, and they've got him out there. Not a good decision by Lyle Lockhart. Was trying to be aggressive on the base paths and turn a single into a double. He is thrown out at second base, and there's now 2 gone in the inning.
That's tough. I mean, you credit Dragani with how difficult he has made the base knock to come by for Wareham. 6 so far, that's respectable. But my goodness, I mean, it almost seems prophetic. It's exactly like we said in the pregame show. He gets guys on, but he somehow works out of every single situation that he's been in. Only 4 guys left on base for the Gatemen, but it seems like a lot of really squandered opportunities for the Gatemen. And they were just a case of beating themselves up. We saw Skylar Hunter with some over-aggressive base running on what, yes, was a controversial call that some might argue might have been safe. But it seems like the Gatemen just can't get out, can't get their own foot out of their own way.
First pitch is going to catch the inside corner to Paven Parks, who singled his last time up, and he was one of the other aggressive base runners, but it worked out for him for a bit. Stole second, and on a throwing error, got himself to third. Then with the infield in, went home on a contact play and was gunned down at the plate by Gage Workman at shortstop. So he's 1 for 2 today. He struck out back in the first inning as well. Now it's down 0-2. Make it down 0-3. On the outside corner for a called strike 3. Second strikeout of the day for Paven Parks. And he will head back dejected. And as we head to the 7th inning, it's still just 1-0 Gatemen here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
One of the area's best restaurants is located right up the street, Brewfish Bar and Eatery. Brewfish offers 20 rotating craft beers on tap and creative pub food. Check out their off-the-menu brunch with a Bloody Mary bar and $5 mimosas on Sundays. Join us for outdoor dining and drinks under the tent, or for live music every weekend, located on Route 105 in Marion.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway.
On to the 7th, and this is how we do it here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Alongside me, Henrique DeMore, I'm Cameron Stewart. A 1-0 lead, still off the Ryan Kreidler solo homer back in the 2nd inning. 2nd inning of relief for Nathan Florence. He worked around a leadoff walk back in the 6th to retire the next 3. You will have 5, 6, 7 in the order. Chris Wright, Brandon Wolf, and Gage Workman are the ones due up. And first is the Bryant Bulldog, who is manning first base for the Whitecaps tonight, Chris Wright. 0 for 2 is Wright tonight. A ground out to Kreidler at short, and a fly out to left field, so he's gone opposite field both times, but nothing doing for him yet. And that continues as he's behind the count, 0-1 on a called strike from Florence. This one going to miss, evens the count at 1-1. Florence will make something of a homecoming in a couple of weeks. 2 weeks from tomorrow to be exact, on July 24th, the Gatemen will be playing the YD Red Sox down in Hartford, home of the Hartford Yard Goats. This pitch looked awfully good, but is going to miss. So that puts Wright ahead of the count, 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, not too bad. Nathan Florence looking pretty darn good in his 2nd appearance in just 2 weeks, like you mentioned, Cam.
This one's going to be fisted to left center, falling fast. Skylar Hunter, what a catch! How many times is he going to do that? Shading towards left field with a slide on the backhand. Skylar Hunter, just another day at the office.
Wow. And he's been in and out of the lineup this year for Wareham in the last couple of games as his offense has continued to sputter, although it has looked up in recent games like we've alluded to, Cam. But that right there does not stop from Skylar Hunter. You get that every darn day from the sophomore from Purdue. What another amazing catch.
First pitch is going to clip the inside corner to Brandon Wolf, the left fielder. Said it before, I'll say it again. 71% of the earth covered by water. That other 29%, Skylar Hunter's got you covered. On a check swing, they're going to say Wolf held up. That evens the count at a ball and a strike with 1 out and the base is empty in the top half of the 7th inning. This one going to ramp up high, up above the letters on the Brewster uniform. They actually did call his check swing a strike on the last pitch before that. My apologies. It was 1-1 on the scoreboard. Now 1-2. And this one is going to be bounced foul down the third base side. So the count will stay at a ball and 2 strikes. This one's going to be roped down the right field line, but it's hooking foul. Now Drew Millis comes out to the mound. Ahead of a 1-2 pitch that will be coming up to Brandon Wolf. 0 for 1 today. He walked back in the second, but flew out to Jacob Goldfarb in left field his last time up, back in the fifth.
The Stanford team that Brandon Wolf played for this year, one of the best teams in the entire country, but knocked out by Sahid Valenzuela's Cal State Fullerton Titans. A pair of games in the regional day, they lost 2-1 and then 5-2 just the next day.
1-2 to Wolf is a check swing, but it's going to get by Millis, and going down to first base, they're going to have to complete the throw, and they will. So that will complete the strikeout, which is brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. It was an excellent regional that Stanford got to host out in Palo Alto, Henrique. Number 2 team in the country, and they got perennial powers, like Cal State Fullerton in there, Big 12 tournament champions in Baylor, and Wayne State, a team that lit up scoreboards all over the country. And that's what they had to deal with. This one's going to be fouled off by Gage Workman. Excuse me, Wright State. I believe I said Wayne State that time.
Yeah,
More impressive, Wright State.
I know Wayne State. Down in southeast Michigan there, a couple buddies that go there. But Wright State, yeah, the home of Seth Gray, who we saw yesterday, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Yeah,
a couple of guys out here on the Cape this year. This pitch going to miss down low for ball 1. Seth Gray, the most notable. Zane Collins, another guy who's pitching his second year in Catuit. We know him well out here in Wareham, as he pitched a complete game shutout here at Spillane Field back in 2017. Only one I've ever seen on the Cape League, and that's what most of the lifers around Spillane Field were saying as well. So I'm going to miss up high to Workman, so 2-1 the count. This one going to catch the inside corner for a called strike 2, 2-2. Sounded like a broken bat, and it's going to be corralled by Nathan Florence, who will throw it on over to first. And on 90s night, it's stretch time and time for a little John Denver here at Spillane Field. Mid-7th, still 1-0 Gatemen here in the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated like family. Located in the heart of Buzzards Bay Village, this 1950-style cottage colony still provides you with up-to-date amenities. The Gatemen thank the Bay Motor Inn for their support.
Located along the Cape Cod Canal, Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is the area's newest rental independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. With some of the area's largest apartments and an ultra-inclusive monthly service package, Keystone Place is a life-fulfilling retirement community unlike any other. Distinct assisted living and memory care programs provide personal care services according to each individual's needs. Discover Keystone Place, the best option for meeting the care and support needs of seniors on Cape Cod.
Like John Denver plays Sally Gooden all day if he could, the Whitecaps are going to stick with Ben Dragani all night if they can. He's out for his 7th inning of work and has kept them in the game. He's allowed a solo homer, but that is it. 1-0 is our score. And in the bottom of the 7th, it's 6-7-8 in the lineup for the Gatemen. Drew Millis, the catcher, followed by Ryan Kreidler and Jacob Goldfarb. But Henrique, you a little surprised to still see Dragani out there?
A part of me is and a part of me isn't. And a part of me is just dismayed that given the fact that this kid has thrown 70-plus pitches, the Gatemen still haven't figured out what to do with him. I mean, no disrespect to Dragani, he's pitched a heck of a game. Not really a high-power strikeout guy. He's gotten a bunch of swings and misses. He's got a bunch of weak ground balls. Just the solo shot to Crowder was the only mistake he made. But true to form, he's gotten guys on, and he's wiggled out of every single situation he's been placed into.
Behind Drew Millis 2-0, a guy who he struck out twice and has made Millis look real off balance both times up. Both of those swinging strikeouts. This one will ramp in there for a called strike, 2-1. Millis going to take this one inside, so he's ahead of the count, 3-1. Again, he's a guy who struggled against lefties this year, 133 coming into today before the 0-for-2. And he's one pitch away from going 0-for-3 as he swings and misses. And will run the count full, 3-2. This one down low and trotting down to first base is Skylar Hunter. For the first time today, he will reach. And for Dragani, in his 7th inning of work, Enrique, the first walk he has allowed for a Gatemen hitter.
Really impressive, and that was the part of me that says I'm not surprised they've gone with him because he's been looking really good so far. His command has been immaculate, as has Connor Lund and Nathan Florence. There's not too many free passes given up. This has just been that kind of game for the Wareham Gatemen and the Brewster Whitecaps. Pitchers duels on both sides. Very well done, but like I said, man, oh man, for a team that put up 21 runs against a very good Bourne team and a pretty darn good Katua team when everything's said and done, as Kreidler drops that bunt but skies it foul straight back. It is surprising that the hapless Brewster Whitecaps are what are giving them trouble. Not looking so hapless right now. Looking like Harwich out there.
It's the second time they've struggled with the Whitecaps this year. As we talked about earlier, that 3-2 extra inning victory where they blew a lead in the 9th. It's a 2-1 game. Ran it to 2-2 on a much different night from Spillane, weather-wise. Cold, raw, raining, and that night, and we were just thankful that it finally ended. It was raining coming into this press box here. Had to protect our papers and our laptops, but just a beautiful night out here tonight as the count runs to 1-1 on Ryan Kreidler. So for the 4th time tonight, the Gatemen get the leadoff runner on, 3 via a single, and now the first walk drawn of the night. But again, Kreidler the difference in the game with the solo homer. 1-1, he's going to get under this one to left field. Starting out, but now coming in, it's going to drop. In between 3 Whitecap defenders, and a terrible read on the ball by Brandon Wolf. Left fielder started out, came in. Gage Workman, the shortstop, did him no favors. And it falls between those two and the center fielder, Ray Alejo. And a very fortunate single for Ryan Kreidler puts 2 men on for the Gatemen.
Now, you're telling me, I mean, that one was hit in one of the more challenging spots in the field, but like you said, that one's on Wolf, if not Alejo, because Workman went back on it. He clearly did not have a beat on it. Like, I don't care if you're looking up at that ball and you think your shortstop's got it. What you got to do is look at your shortstop and say, okay, man, that might be his ball, but he's twisting and turning. He looks like a washing machine out there.
Spin cycle does not benefit the Whitecaps, and another botched bunt attempt, this time by Jacob Goldfarb, and he's lucky he's still at the plate, as that was just out of the reach of the catcher Martirano, moving towards the Brewster dugout. And the Gatemen, with runners at first and second, it's the first time since the first inning they've had 2 runners on the base paths at the same time. Paven Parks left guys at the corners to end the first inning. So a rare position tonight, and another foul attempt, or foul on the bunt attempt, excuse me, from Goldfarb. Puts him behind in the count 0-2, and probably takes things off here, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would think so. And that's just unfortunate for Goldfarb, as he struggled to get it going offensively all season. He was released by the Katua Cavaliers right after the game in which his current team, the Wareham Gatemen, smacked them around 8-1 on July 3rd. Picked up by the Wareham Gatemen, but has yet to get it going here as that one gets away from the catcher.
It does get away from Martirano, and both Gatemen base runners are going to move up. So take out the infield fly, take off the force. 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out in the Gatemen half of the 7th, looking to build on this slim 1-0 lead.
Well, you like to think no excuses here, especially with, even if Goldfarb can't produce, Skylar Hunter's got a base knock on the day, and Isaac Collins has a base knock on the day. Between those 3, you would like to think that the Gatemen could get something here. Get that second run of the day. Infield in now for Brewster.
This one going to miss up high to Goldfarb, and the count evens at 2-2. Still looking for his first hit with Wareham. And just his second on the season. Only managed 1 with the Kettleers before jumping over the bridge to Wareham. 2-2 is going to be skied out to left center field. This one's trouble. This one's going to get down for the first hit, and it's going to bring a couple runs home. Millis in standing. Kreidler in standing. Down to second base. Jacob Goldfarb, welcome to Wareham. 3-0 Gatemen here in the 7th.
Wow, you love to see that. How awesome is that? The unlikeliest of heroes producing recently for the Gatemen. Oliver Dunn with an awesome game yesterday. Skylar Hunter has been a hot bat. These guys who have hit in the 0s and the 100s coming up big for Wareham. And Jacob Goldfarb with a monster double down there to the power alley in left center. You love to see that. Like he said, just his second Cape League hit of the year. It's game 25. That's got to feel good.
And this is going to bring out the manager for Brewster and is going to bring a pitching change here from Spillane Field. We'll give you the new Brewster pitcher when we come back here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Clobbered high and deep to right center field, and this one is gone. A home run.
Eastern Propane and Oil is the Wareham Gatemen home run sponsor. Each time a home run is hit by a Gatemen player, Eastern Propane and Oil donates a camp scholarship to a deserving youth. Eastern Propane and Oil, we're in your neighborhood.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli. At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing, home of Lowe's, Target, and Red Robin, is the sponsor of the Gatemen Intern Program. They help to provide a world-class internship experience in broadcasting, marketing, sports management, and baseball operations. Check out Wareham Crossing's schedule for this year's Summer Movie Night Series.
Back here in what is still the bottom of the 7th inning here from Spillane Field. A pitching change. New man on the mound for Brewster is the Indiana Hoosier Connor Hyannis. Sophomore, rising junior there, is only making his second appearance of the year. No record and no ERA for him in 2 innings pitched. He has struck out 3 and walked a batter. That appearance coming back on the holiday, the 4th of July, when the Whitecaps hosted the Harwich Mariners and lost 8-1 to Harwich. Just his second appearance on the year, and he comes in after a Jacob Goldfarb double. Put 2 more runs home for the Gatemen and finally extend that lead to 3-0, so he's still there at second. And there's nobody out in the inning, so you can't close the book on Dragani yet. That's his man at second base, but as it stands right now, just 6 innings and allowed 3 runs. Skylar Hunter, who's been swinging a better bat of late, will come up and try to extend it. Sorry, Enrique.
No, you're good. A pair of Big Ten foes going back-to-back here on the bump for Brewster. The Indiana Hoosier actually transferred from Miami, so he had to sit down. So he had to sit out 2017. But in 2018, that one is a ball low to Skylar Hunter. His freshman season mainly out of the bullpen at Indiana. 12 appearances, 3 starts, 14 strikeouts, as well as the 7 walks in 25 innings of work. But the scary number is the .283 opponent batting average. Gave up 6 doubles, a triple, and 4 home runs in 25 innings of work. But the ERA still hovered at a .324, which is very respectable.
So he's behind in the count 2-0 to the Gatemen center fielder, who singled his last time up and ropes it down the left field line. This is going to be just foul down there in the direction of Brandon Wolf again. He's been working hard this inning. Hunter trots back a bit dejected. He thought he had extra bases again that time.
I would be too. Man, oh man, what a tough break. Still ahead of the count here, 2-1 though, so the onus is still on Hyannis.
This one going to skip in. A nice block there by Mardonado, but forcing the issue and going down to third base is Jacob Goldfarb, and he's going to get in there, sliding safely.
Love to see that, getting his first Spillane Field skid mark across his chest and his right leg as he dives in head first to third base. And he saw as soon as that ball tailed and bounced about 5 feet in front of home plate, it was going to take a Herculean effort for Mardonado behind the plate to gun him out. And you got to credit Malfetta over there at third for using his chest to prevent that one from going into left field and making it 4-0 Gatemen. And now over to first is Skylar Hunter.
Hunter gets down there with the second walk of the game and the second walk of the inning for Wareham. And now runners at the corners. Infield moves back to regular depth for the moment. Back to the top of the order, Isaac Collins will get to bat from his stronger side, the left-hand side, for the first time today. For Collins, 269, batting from the left this year. First offering to him is going to be a nice pitch on the outside corner, painting the black out there for a called strike one. Goldfarb at third. Got there after the double and a stolen base. And runner at first base now is Skylar Hunter. 0-1, going to be cut on and missed, and a pitch also outside. Collins unable to catch up with that one, and he's quickly down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. This one going to be spoiled off to the left and out of play by Collins, so he stays in there at 0-2. Throw over to first, nothing doing there as Hunter's back in. This one's going to be fouled off to the left and out of play. Collins is going to stay in there, 0-2. First end of a home-and-home, kind of a makeshift home-and-home between these two teams after the rain out at Stony Brook Friday. That's where the Gatemen will travel tomorrow night. My partner Henrique DeMore and JD Rachi bringing you that one. Coverage will start at 4:30 for the 5 o'clock game. This one's low and inside. Cut on and missed by Collins, and since first base was occupied, no throw needed down there. And he is finally the first out of the inning for the Gatemen. First 4 reach base, but Collins goes down swinging. Still runners at the corners, though, with 1 out in front of Sahid Valenzuela. Excuse me, advancing on that is Skylar Hunter. You can advance on a drop third strike, but since you don't have to throw down to first base. So Hunter is able to move up. Both runners in scoring position. Much better situation, more comfortable one for the left-hand hitting Valenzuela now this time.
Especially with 1 out, and Brewster still trying to stay in this one with the infield in, you see there. But good heads-up base running by Hunter.
So this one is going to be fouled off to the left on the first offering to Valenzuela. He's behind in the count, 0-1. Uncharacteristic tough night for him. 0 for 3 in the last time up. He flew out to center field, and the Whitecaps were able to double up Skylar Hunter at first base in a very close play. Valenzuela's going to pop this one up foul, same spot, but this time it'll get out of play once again. A couple of Whitecaps giving chase, but nothing doing, and the second baseman from Cal State Fullerton, down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes, much like Collins ahead of him. This one is going to be bounced to shortstop. Gage Workman's only play is to first, and coming home to score is Jacob Goldfarb. And the Gatemen extend that lead. It's now 4-0 here in the 7th inning. Give an RBI to Sahid Valenzuela.
And he bounces back. Moves to 1 for 4 on the day. RBI has that Gatemen lead. 2 away here now. The runner on third for Austin Shenton. This is finally the kind of the sigh of relief that I was waiting for from the Gatemen offense, finally getting to this Brewster pitching staff and the bullpen especially, even though Mattis had good numbers coming into this appearance today. Like we said, just the 1 run. It was unearned. But we also talked about how the Brewster bullpen had been absolutely annihilated the last 2 games, blown a total of a 14-run lead over the last 2 games. And when you put it that way, that just really does not sound good.
It doesn't, and you got to imagine that's why they were riding with Dragani for so long.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And still coming back to bite them. The Whitecaps just finding ways to lose ball games, especially in the last couple of days. Down 4-0 here, and Austin Shenton is now ahead of the count, 2-0. There's now 2 outs in the frame. It took a while, but they have gotten there. Man at third base is Skylar Hunter. Waiting now, the 2-0 to Shenton is just going to clip the outside corner. Shenton didn't like it, but put a strike on him at 2-1. Shenton 1 for 3 today, singled back in the 3rd inning to keep that average above 400 on the year. 2-1, thought about it, but it's going to be a called strike anyway to the Gatemen designated hitter. That evens things at 2-2 with 2 outs in the 7th inning. Still a man at third in Skylar Hunter, but 3 runs already home for Wareham in the frame. Two. Breaking pitch going to miss down low to Shenton. Lays it off and runs the count full. Going to be bounced on the ground to second base. Freeman will gobble it up and throw over to first for the out that retires the side. So we are through 7 here from Spillane Field. 4-0 is our new score as the Gatemen push across 3 in the inning. And in just a moment, we are going to have our sideline reporter Mary Orders for her second live interview of the game, this time with Matt Miller, the first base coach for the Gatemen. We got a pretty good look at that controversial double play that Skylar Hunter was doubled up on. So Mary is going to catch up with him. And he's down there with Mary right now. Let's send it down to her.
Thanks, guys. So, Matt, there was a close play with Skylar Hunter to end the 5th. What do you see on that play? Do you think he should have been safe?
I thought he was in there. Or truthfully, I didn't think it was very close, but, we all make mistakes.
And was it a hit-and-run play?
It was not a hit-and-run. He went on his own. Skylar did make the mistake of not looking when he heard contact, slid into the bag, kind of stood there a minute. But, you live and you learn from those kind of things.
And lastly, what do you think is the hardest part about being the first base coach?
I enjoy it. The hardest thing, I'd say, sending on doubles every now and again. We got some funky outfields up here, so you never know how it's going to play. But all in all, it's a fun job.
Matt, thanks so much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you.
If you're holding any of tonight's winning tickets, claim your prizes at the merchandise.
Thank you, Mary. She got to catch up with first base coach Matt Miller that time, and he's saying no hit-and-run play on there, Henrique. I know we were kind of speculating on that one, but Hunter went down on his own and was unable to make it back there, and it seems like Matt Miller still thought he was safe.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a great angle because the tag came in away from us. It came in on the right field side of first base, so we didn't get a fantastic look at it. But obviously some controversy surrounding that one. Now everyone breathing a little easier as it is 4-0 for the Gatemen. Nathan Florence looks like he's in his bag, and barring another complete meltdown by the bullpen, I think the Gatemen are in good shape in this one.
So as we head to the 8th, that's Henrique DeMore. I'm Cameron Stewart, bringing you Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. 0-1 is going to catch the inside corner to Christian Malfetta, third baseman from Stanford. And Nathan Florence, who's in his third inning of work, is ahead of the count 0-2. Home cut on and missed. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night from Nathan Florence. A 3-pitch strikeout, which is brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen.
Yeah, like you said, just the second one from Florence. Looking pretty good, looking well rested indeed. He's now retired. 7 straight Brewster Whitecaps after giving up that leadoff walk to Ray Alejo in the 6th.
And a pinch hitter for the first time tonight comes on for Brewster. Dominic Canzoni of Ohio State will stand in from the left side. He will hit for Ike Freeman. Close the book on Ike. He was 0 for 2 today. First pitch runs inside to Canzoni, but will get away from Millis, and Canzoni's able to avoid it. So 1-0 is the count with 1 out, nobody on the base paths. This one going to fall down low, this time on the outside. The count will go to 2-0 in Canzoni's favor. Guy who was a regular for the Whitecaps and is one of just 2 guys on the entire roster with it batting average over 300. 319 for him on the year. Triple homer, 6 RBI, 365 on base percentage for the Ohio State Buckeye. Here's the 2-1 home with 1 out. This one going to fall in on the inside half. Canzoni not liking the call one bit, but it evens the counts at 2-2. Here it is. This one's going to be down the line and above the outstretched Lyle Lockhart. Canzoni thinking extra bases, and that's exactly what he's going to get as he trots into second with a stand-up double. Off the bench, maybe the best hitter for the Whitecaps this year, comes through once again.
Whitecaps going to have to take it any way they can get it. You got to admire the grit here of the Brewster coaching staff. Putting in Canzoni here and saying, all right, you know what, 4-0 down to one of the best teams in the Cape League at their place in the late innings. Man in scoring position with just 1 swing in the back and make it a 4-2 ball game. Alejo is 0 for 2 today, though.
0 for 2, but walked his last time up and was able to get a stolen base back in the 6th inning. Florence's first offering to him, he squares around a bunt and will not connect on it. So that misses for ball 1, 1-0. Whitecaps with a chance to scrap back into this game. And as is a custom here, Henrique, at Spillane Field, we're now on track for a 3-hour game.
There it is.
Gatemen were able to open it up last inning. Nonetheless, a 4-0 lead and a 1-1 count after the cut and miss by Ray Alejo. One's turning around again, but this one is going to bounce low and outside on the breaking ball. Millis able to keep it in front of him, but the count goes to 2-1. And Florence will have a chat with his shortstop, kind of the quarterback of the infield, Ryan Kreidler. Next pitch will be his 38th. 24 strikes, 14 balls for him, and this his third inning of work. (2-1). This one going to run low and outside once again. So a guy who was trying to bunt a man along now finds himself ahead of the count 3-1 against Nathan Florence.
And to give you some perspective on how tough the season has been for Brewster in their last 14 games, which is the exact stretch of time since these two teams last played each other.
Alejo's going to shoot this one out to right center. This is trouble. This one will one-hop the wall. And coming in to score easily is Canzoni. And back-to-back stand-up doubles. This one by Ray Alejo gets those struggling Whitecaps on the board. It is now 4-1 Gatemen in the top of the 8th.
Gave that one a ride. Florence left a fastball up, and my goodness, Alejo did not miss it. I thought that one might have had a chance to leave the yard. Right towards the scoreboard there. But back-to-back doubles after that strikeout where Malfetta looked completely off balance from Florence. Left a couple fastballs up in the zone. We'll see what the Gatemen counter with here. I imagine they stay with Florence. The lead's still pretty comfortable, and Florence has looked good apart from these last couple batters.
We are going to have a meeting on the mound. Ryan Stoudemire is warming up in the bullpen. But with the pitching coach Jim Lawler out to the mound to discuss strategy, you can discuss investment strategy with Joe Crespi from Merrill Lynch, who sponsors this trip to the mound. Lawler has put the right arm up. He is going to make the move. We'll give you for sure who the new pitcher is coming in for the Gatemen after these messages here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Make sure you sign your child up today for the Gatemen Robertson's GMC Youth Clinics. This year we have 5 one-week sessions for children 5 to 14. We also have 2 special sessions for hitting and pitching open to teens. Registration is available online at gatemen.org or through forms available at the merchandise booth.
The 80 Makepeace Company also owns and operates Reed Custom Soils, the area's leading manufacturer of custom soils, including CU structural soil and Rooflight certified green roof media. Reed Custom Soils is also a manufacturer and distributor of baseball infield mix and conditioners. To learn more, visit 80makepeace.com or reedcustomsoils.com.
At E.L. Morse Lumber, commitment to the customer shines through in every aspect of their daily operations, including their competitive prices, complete product selection, and superior customer care. Visit E.L. Morse Lumber, located on Cranberry Highway in Wareham, for service with a personal touch.
We come back for the 8th inning. Do have that pitching change we were alluding to, which is brought to you by the Bay Point Club, Onset's 18-hole championship golf course. With a driving range open 7 days a week and senior discounts offered every day and always welcome to the public. So get to the point. It is Charleston Southern's Ryan Stoudemire who comes into the game. It's his 6th appearance, all out of the bullpen, a 1-0 record with a 3.17 ERA. And in 5 2/3 innings pitched, he's only struck out 1 and walked 3. Hasn't pitched in a game in a week since July 2nd against Bourne in that 5-3 loss. He went an inning, didn't allow a run or a hit, and only allowed a walk. But was granted with a double play on his 3 batters faced, so he did face the minimum that time out. He relieves Nathan Florence, who is responsible for the run that came in, and also the man Ray Alejo, who stands at second base. Gave up back-to-back doubles. Justin Ammons will be the first man he faces here on 90s night from Spillane. Enrique has already heard his Backstreet Boys tonight. Got a little Dave Matthews Band this last time up.
Love Dave Matthews Band.
With that.
Yep. Not as much as you do, but I do love Dave Matthews Band.
I'm a fan, but you know who is the biggest fan?
Who's that?
Is my mother.
Yeah?
Huge Dave Matthews Band fan. She's here in the stands tonight, so
Yeah,
she
I was
gets to
gonna
hear
say.
it. I'm sure she's just bugging out right now.
Was that an ants marching pun? Bugging out?
I wasn't even planning on it. You're writing my puns for me, Enrique.
Oh man.
We're at that point in the season. We're in the second half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're starting to gel here. That's good.
You're just starting to write them out for me. You're thinking 2 steps ahead of me.
Ooh.
Justin Ammon's going to foul the first pitch. Looks like it caught a piece of Drew Millis. So it's a bit of a painful strike one for the Wareham catcher to attempt to reel in. We've gotten some good outfits tonight here on 90s Night, some good music as well. Still awaiting my Oasis, but there's still some time.
Make sure to say that just loud enough so the music guys can hear you.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, you know. We all share the same press box here. It's no risk. I have like 1 of 2 guesses on what'll come on, but I really only need 1. This one's going to be bounced back by Ammons. It's now a 2-strike count to him. Finally, Ammons standing back in there. He's 0 for 3 today. He botched a bunt attempt his last time up. A terrible one that was caught out of the air by Drew Millis. This one misses. 1-2 is now the count. One and 2. Ammons is going to foul this one straight back. So that's where the count will stay.
Stoudemire comes into a precarious spot here. The bullpen has been the most inconsistent part of this Gatemen team despite all the success they've had. 4 games over 500, tied atop the East, or the West Division, I should say. Hyannis still on their heels. Buzz Stoudemire with a chance to put a solidified win over these Brewster Whitecaps in the books.
1-2, painting the outside corner is Stoudemire for a called strike 3. Justin Ammons can't believe it, but he is sent down. Second strikeout of the inning for Gatemen pitching. First one for Ryan Stoudemire, and that is brought to you by the law offices of Lang, X, Forrest, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. Now Connor Graham's designated hitter will step in. He is 1 for 3 today. A single all the way back in the first inning. It's the only one to his name tonight. 2 outs and a man on second. He'll take the first pitch down low, 4-1, 1-0.
The runner on second, Ray Alejo, still the responsibility of Nathan Florence, an otherwise really good outing for the sophomore from Hartford. 2 hits, 1 earned run so far. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts as well in his first game, and also a long time, 2 weeks. So a couple guys here against the Brewster Whitecaps trying to get back in the swing of things.
1-0 is going to miss down low, down to a crouch, and blocking it is Millis. Further in his crouch, I should say. Block things and keep it in front of it there, and keep Alejo at second base with 2 outs in the inning. This one's going to bounce away from Drew Millis and back towards the on-deck circle on the Wareham side, and now Alejo will move down to third base easily. He gets in there on the pitch that makes the count 3-0 to Graham's with 2 outs in the inning.
For the most part, though, I have been impressed with Millis as he's been able to keep pretty much everything that's been in the dirt in front of him. Limited the movement of these Brewster Whitecap base runners. Over to third, Israel Alejo. 2 outs in first base open. Connor Grams does have a single on the day, but the 3-0 fast with a 3-0 pitch coming in, I imagine he's taken all the way. The 3-1 pitch, I think, will be the telling one from Stoudemire.
Here is that 3-0. It will catch the strike zone, much to the chagrin of Grams. But the count's now 3-1. Grams, I mentioned earlier, with 4 homers on the year, he leads the Whitecaps in that category. For those of you Gatemen fans will know, that's less than Andrew Vaughn had in his short time with the Gatemen. So it's been a power outage among many other things for the Whitecaps. But Grams will get on with a walk this time, as this pitch misses low and away, so he trots down to first base. Runners now at the corners for the catcher, Brandon Martirano. A meeting at the mound between Drew Millis and Ryan Stoudemire. And it's not going to be Martirano. Michael Massey will be the pinch hitter. Guy who had a red-hot start to the year for the Whitecaps. Has cooled down since then for Massey. All the way down to .299, which is still pretty respectable, especially in the Cape League. 4 doubles, a homer, 8 RBI. For the man from the University of Illinois. One going to run inside, same spot for Stoudemire, this time inside to a righty. Excuse me, a lefty in Massey. Count goes to 1-0. Check on both runners, but nothing doing. Count stays at 1-0 to Massey. Both those runners, or the runners, excuse me, are at first and third. 2 outs in the top half of the 8th inning. Brewster's already brought one home in this frame. First one of the day. Makes it 4-1 in the Gatemen's favor as they try to end a 2-game skid tonight at home.
And Massey 2 for 4 and intentionally walked the last time these two teams played during that hot stretch like you alluded to, Cam. Trying to do some damage here. Brewster not going down without a fight. With 2 down here, very pivotal at bat coming up for Stoudemire v. Massey.
One home. Just missing off the outside corner. Stoudemire's got to have that one, doesn't this time. He falls behind in the count, 2-1. Stoudemire steps off ahead of the 2-1. 13 pitches for Stoudemire on the inning. 6 strikes, 7 balls. Even things up. 7-7 on that one. Called strike on the outside corner. He's 1 pitch from getting out of it here. 2-2, 2 outs. 2 ducks on the pond for the Whitecaps in their half of the 8th inning.
Biggest pitch of the night by far coming up from Stoudemire. Gets the nod. We'll see what he comes with.
2-2's going to be bounced to Lyle Lockhart. Moving to his left. Will flip it on over. And Ryan Stoudemire is there to cover. A 3-1 putout ends things in the 8th. Whitecaps get one home, leave a couple on, though, and it's 4-1 Gatemen as we head to the bottom half of the 8th here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
Gatemen Baseball is officially sponsored by Robertson's GMC, the truck professionals. Located just 2 miles away on Cranberry Highway, we are proud to sponsor the Gatemen Youth Clinic for 2018. Robertson's GMC. We are professional grade. Power like a pro.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
Backbeat, the word is on the street. The Gatemen are ahead 4-1 here at Spillane Field as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, trying to make today the day that they end a 2-game skid. And they certainly picked the right team to play it against. Last place Brewster Whitecaps, just 4 wins on the year. They are sticking with Connor Hyannis, are the Whitecaps, for his 2nd inning of work. 4, 5, 6 in the Gatemen order, starting with Lyle Lockhart here in the 8th inning.
Attention please, defensive changes for the Whitecaps. Now catching number 11, Joseph Donovan from Michigan.
Catcher out there, Joseph Donovan, with the winged helmet behind home plate, a Michigan Wolverine, avoiding that all-Michigan battery. But they get Donovan into the game.
The first baseman, number 18, Lyle.
So here is Lockhart. He'll be followed by Paven Parks and Drew Millis. First pitch going to miss up high to Lockhart for ball 1. He's 1 for 3 today. Single back in the 1st inning. He's going to slice this one foul off to the left and out of play. Fly out to left field in the 3rd for Lockhart, and actually got a hit his last time up, but was thrown out trying to extend it into a double back in the 6th inning. Just proved to be less important than originally thought, as this one catches the inside corner for a called strike 2. Back then it was just a 1-0 game, but the Gatemen pushing 3 across in their half of the 7th inning, thanks in large part to the Jacob Goldfarb 2-run double. 1-2, Lockhart waits on it and sends it out to center field. Alejo was shaded over to the left anyway, and will move over just a few steps and will make the catch for the first out of the inning. With 1 out, Paven Parks will stand in with nobody on.
Going back to that Alejo flyout, yeah, that one played absolutely perfectly deep. He played Lockhart to push. He was expecting the outside offering there from Hyannis on the bump. So that one's a swing and a miss on a breaking ball to Parks. But Alejo has shown his mettle out there in center field. Another long flyout for Lyle Lockhart Jr.
Parks going to foul this one off to the left and out of play. So it's 0-2 to the Gatemen 3rd baseman today. To Parks. He's going to fight it off again and stay up there at the plate at 0-2 as he fouls this one straight back and out of play. Parks 1 for 3 today. A single sandwiched by a couple of strikeouts. This was a stolen base. Cut on and missed. Give Parks the hat trick today. It's his 3rd strikeout. This one's swinging, and he is out number 2, 2 up and 2 down in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
Hyannis has bounced back very, very nicely. That breaking ball is absolutely nasty. He went with that to Parks. There we go. A couple of times, got the same result on the 1st strike and the 3rd strike of the at bat.
This one a called strike to Drew Millis on the outer half. Millis 0 for 2 today, but reached on a walk his last time up in the 7th inning. This one is going to be fouled back. The count runs to a quick 0-2. That's something he's done a couple of times tonight. Those 2 strikeouts, both times he fell behind 0-2. This time the 0-2 offering runs outside and Millis will stay home. And will stay up at the plate because that one misses. It's 1-2. Some action down in the Wareham bullpen. Zach Hart beginning to throw, the right-hander from Franklin Pierce. No one out there getting loose for Brewster. One, two in there for a called strike 3. A couple in the frame for Hyannis. We head to the 9th inning here from Spillane Field. Gatemen looking to lock down the win. 4-1, they lead the Brewster Whitecaps here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Shop from home year-round on Gatemen.org. You can customize your Gatemen gear from any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at Gatemen.org. Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Go to the 9th, 3 more outs to get for the Gatemen. It's Ryan Stoudemire who is tasked with it as of now. Zach Hart has been warming up in the bullpen, but it's Stoudemire's inning to start. This was where the wheels fell off the last time Gatemen played at home back on Saturday night against the Falmouth Commodores. Went in with a 3-2 lead going into that 9th inning. Went into the bottom of the 9th, down 6-3. A little bit of a country flavor now here on 90s Night. Billy Ray Cyrus coming on.
It says Billy Ray, I guess. Yeah. I didn't know how much of a sensation he was before before Hannah Montana and Miley
Showing
Cyrus.
your age, Enrique.
Yeah, really. No, I really am.
Well, Ryan Stoudemire hopes to avoid what happened the other night here in the 4-run 9th and save my achy breaky heart. 4-1 lead, though, it's going to be a lot tougher for them to blow this one. Getting things started is Chris Wright. First baseman from Bryant takes the pitch in there for a called strike 1, 0-1.
0 for 3 today and was absolutely robbed in the 7th by a horizontal Skylar Hunter out there in the shallow left center field.
0-1's going to be shot foul off to the left and out of play. Count runs quickly to 0-2. Chance for the first save of the season for Ryan Stoudemire. Has not come into that opportunity yet this year. 0-2 is going to be bounced foul back behind home plate. So staying in there is Wright at 0-2. First baseman for Brewster. Tough day, 0 for 3. Grounded out to Ryan Kreidler at short in the first. And flew out to left and center field respectively in the 4th and the 7th. O2 is going to be rocketed foul out by the Gatemen dugout. Still Zach Hart getting loose out there. We have seen Gatemen use more than one pitcher in a save situation in that 9th inning. I think back to that second home game of the year against Katuitt. They used 3 guys in the 9th inning to protect a 2-run lead. 0-2 is going to be up the middle. A diving stop by Valenzuela. High throw is going to be airmailed to the Gatemen dugout. And Millis is able to catch up to it, but Wright will stay at first. And he's able to reach on the error.
It'll almost undoubtedly be ruled an E4. Tough break there for Stoudemire. Yeah, it was a hard hit ball up the middle, but Valenzuela, I think, just needed to take 2 more seconds, maybe a split second, to set his feet and make that good throw. I think he would have really had a shot at Wright. But now Brendan Wolf, who also is hitless on the night, will have a shot here. Actually, my mistake. That is Cameron Eden.
Yeah, pinch hitter for the Whitecaps. First at bat of the game for Eden. Infielder from Cal will take this one outside for ball 1. Had all kinds of friends on this Gatemen team going into the season, wondering where they've all gone. 3 Golden Bears started the year for the Gatemen. Now Andrew Vaughn off to Team USA, and Joey Matulovic signing with the Brewers leaves just Jared Horn out there in the Gatemen bullpen representing Cal. 2-0 is the count to Cameron Eden. He pinch hits for Wolf, who was 0 for 2 with a walk in the game. And Eden is going to pop it up center field. Easy pickings for Skylar Hunter, who gets under it. 4 out number 1. And there's 1 gone in the 9th, and trotting back to first base is Chris Wright.
And now another pinch hitter here, Jesse Franklin out of Michigan. Little pinch hit for Gage Workman. Lefty against the righty Stoudemire. Batting .324 on the year, pretty much an everyday guy for these Brewster Whitecaps. Got the day off today originally, but did go 1 for 4 in that 8-9 loss to Orleans.
3rd Michigan Wolverine we have seen featured in the game for the Whitecaps. I'm not sure how they get along with Dominic Canzoni, the lone Ohio State Buckeye on the team. Let's hope they keep things civil. This one is going to be rocketed at Lyle Lockhart. He's going to make the catch, and he's just toying with Chris Wright for the double play that will end the game. The Gatemen break off a 2-game skid with a 4-1 victory over the Brewster Whitecaps, and it is ended in spectacular fashion as Lyle Lockhart puts the exclamation point on one with a couple of web gems for the Gatemen tonight. It's fitting that it ends that way. A 3-run 7th opens things up for the Gatemen. They are victors over the Brewster Whitecaps today, 4-1. We are about to go to our post-game show in just a moment here that you will be able to catch on our YouTube channel. So the Gatemen able to end a 2-game skid here tonight. Henrique, what impressed you from the Wareham side?
I think it was just the starting pitching. Connor Lund had an absolutely awesome day. Nathan Florence was great, and even Ryan Stoudemire, despite a couple of shaky moments there, held his own against this Brewster team that really they did not quit. They were making substitutions left and right, trying to get back into this game. Credit them, but they walk away losers of their 18th game here tonight. Wareham second team on the Cape now, after YD, to 15 wins on the year. But Hyannis looking to keep pace with them. They're ahead of Harwich by 1, but resiliency on the offensive front, I think, as well, was really impressive. Just at-bat after at-bat, trying to grind against whoever it was, whether it was Dragani, whether it was Manis out of Indiana, and they made something work there in the 7th, found a little bit of contagious hitting, didn't leave the base runners on base, came away with the dub today.
So the Gatemen do enough. We want to thank you for listening to this broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The general manager of the Wareham Gatemen is Andrew Lang. The producers of today's broadcast was Trevor Russo. Our sideline reporter is Mary Orders. Thanks to our writer Ian Vicera and today's WCTV broadcaster J.D. Rachi. The next broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball will be tomorrow as they travel to Stony Brook to face these same Brewster Whitecaps. Game starts at 5 o'clock. Our coverage will begin at 4:30 with Gatemen Pregame Live. For Henrique Namor, I'm Cameron Stewart. Thanks for tuning into this presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. So long, and we'll see you tomorrow.